All right, then, let's get this party started. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Spotlight. And today's creator that we're spotlighting is Mr. Crazy Louie of the Xbox International Podcast. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great, man. Thank you for having me on, man. It's fantastic to finally get this done. I mean, we've been after this for like how much? 2 months already,
Uh,
and we're here. We're live. We're having some fun. That's good. That's good.
yeah,
And
we
and
go on, sorry.
and hell, I'm happy. I'm here. Just chilling, having some fun.
Yeah, as everyone has probably been paying attention, we've had to move around, and reschedule like three separate times. And it's just life kept getting in the way. I'm going on vacation this week, but on top of that too, we've been like redecorating my upstairs, building desks, moving stuff, and even now my whole area just looks like a still work in progress. But we got it back, and we're ready to go, and I'm happy to finally have this happen because I honestly I've never met such a more upbeat, chill kind of guy until I met you. That's kind of the truth right now.
Thanks, man. Thanks, man. Oh no, someone in there saying, "Oh, another Xbox, bro." What's wrong with Xbox, Nerdy Nut Neo? What's happening?
Neo
What's
is
wrong with us?
Neo
No.
Neo is an Xbot as well. He's a big
Oh,
achievement chaser, so he's just throwing it out there. He likes when I have people who are like more Xbox mains on too.
oh, okay. I thought it was against us. Like, no, Neo, not another person against us. No.
No, no, no. Uh, it's always fun to get like some Xbox homies on because you know even though like the platform is like always getting trash for like, well, what's the point of owning an Xbox? And my go to response is like, it plays video games. That's all I care about. Does it play video games? That's the only reason you buy these things, right? You know.
And you save money, which is the one thing you gotta fight for out there is your wallet. And that's what I tell everyone every day. Fight for your wallet. Protect it. That's what you gotta do. This is a hobby.
Exactly.
Hobbies are expensive. So, it's good to protect your wallet at the end of the day.
Yeah. Even when you're like cheap hunting, because I'm a giant retro collector too. Because I like to have my physical media. I just love video gaming. It's my favorite, hobby. I've played since I was a kid, to all the way to adult years. And now that I got my own disposable income, my own house and everything, now it's just like every week, or it feels like almost every day, I find like a good, cheap physical deal or a good digital
Yeah.
deal. And I'm just like, I'm going to play it.
You know what I need to find? I need to find the Metal Gear HD collection. I need to find that for a good price because they delisted it from digital. I found that out yesterday. I was trying to download that one to play Peace Walker because I've been playing some Phantom Pain
Hmm.
lately, and I'm like, someone told me you gotta play Peace Walker because that's part of the story. I'm like, what? No way! It's like, yep, you gotta play. I'm like, no.
Yeah, isn't that the best? I've been trying to start this like Assassin's Creed kick. I just actually 100%ed everything for Assassin's Creed Origins, including the DLC, which I don't really do that often, but when I do, that usually means I'm having a good time. And now
Wow.
I'm sitting now on the couch, and I'm having, like I think it's the term is Sophie's choice, where it's like, do I go play Odyssey now, or do I actually try to invest 100 hours into beating like 17 other games? It's like, geez, what do I do? What do I do? But
Exactly. I'm in that point as you are right now because I'm trying. I've been playing Expedition 33 for like since after I finished Doom the Dark Ages. I
mhm.
jumped into that, and I'm in the final part of Expedition 33. But every time I turn it on, every time I head in, try to finish it, I'm like, I don't know. Let me go play a little bit of multiplayer. Let me just hang out playing something else, and just taking a break from all these long games because I've been playing long games since the beginning of the year. I finished Stalker 2, Indiana Jones, and the whole list goes on. And now it's like I need a little break. I've been spending too much time on these long games. Little break, and my break has been for like almost 2 months. So I gotta head back and finish Expedition 33.
Yeah, I feel like there's this gaming app I use. It's called Fuse. Have you ever heard of it?
No, no, first time I ever heard about it.
So it's
What's it
like
about?
it's basically just like it's basically Facebook but for like gamers, and it got like this really fun UI that lets you put the video games that you're playing, and it tells you how long you've been playing them and stuff like that. I've been playing this one short game. It's called Ghost Hunter. Have you ever heard of it?
Ghost Hunter. Yeah, kind of reminds me of something. Let me go look at it.
It's a PS2 original PS2 game made by Namco and published by Sony Interactive Europe.
Isn't that the game that's with? Let me see. Oh no, I never played this one. Wow, I'm
Yes.
looking at it right now. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
So it's currently on PlayStation 5. They did bring it as one of their backwards compatible titles that they added recently. I think it was actually earlier this year. And I'm on day 51 of not playing that game because I've been procrastinating. But I feel like that's the problem when you have so many games, and you know, I think everyone can relate to this now since we're all like adults and stuff. You're like, you just get home from work, and then you're like, man, I'm just not feeling this. I want to go do something else. And the something else that I've been playing is Rome Total War, because apparently I can't get enough of like ancient Rome and Egypt and all that stuff, and I just want to play like giant historical battles now. So
Total War. Wow, that's amazing. It's like Shogun Total War. That was a good one too
a great one.
on PC. Yeah, great one. Yeah, one of the great ones. I like RTS games too. I mean, I wow, it's just there's so much to play, man. It's hard like to sit down and say, okay, let me play this, for a while. And that's why, I came up with the gaming schedule for this year. I said, okay, let's make a gaming schedule. Let's finish some games up. But man, I got into the point where I need a break. I need to play some multiplayer, hang out with the guys, have a conversation, Yesterday I started trying out Wu Chang. I had a blast with Wu Chang. But yeah, I still need to go finish Expedition 33. I need to finish that game before, I put my head deep into Wu Chang
Yeah.
or Death Stranding or whichever is next because man, I'm trying to catch up because there's just so many. And not only that, look at this games call. All these games have been announced. I mean, we're getting a Halloween game. It's next year, I know. We also got like what was it a month ago? We're getting Hellraiser. I still have RoboCop to finish. Oh man, not the old RoboCop game, because the last one I finished, Rogue City, I finished it. But this new one, I got to purchase it and play it. It's just oh my god, there's so much things to play.
Yeah,
Whew,
I
it's
just played
messy.
that unfinished business spin-off, and
How was it?
I was not really impressed with it. To be honest with you,
Really?
I was doing I actually was going to do a review for it, but then I had technical problems and that scrapped the whole thing. So me and a buddy did a review for it, but we basically came to the same conclusion that this felt more like a cash grab than an actual like good idea. The best way I could describe it, it feels like they were trying to make a working concept in Unreal 5 before
Yeah.
they produced a proper sequel to Rogue City.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Nice. Nice. I mean, I haven't played it yet, so when I play it, I'll give it a go and give my review sooner or later about it. Because really, I'm a big RoboCop fan. I mean, I love RoboCop. Same thing as Terminator. Same thing as Aliens,
Hmm.
Predator. All these horror classic movies. Friday the 13th, the game, which oh no, we got pulled off. Oh, but we're getting a Halloween now, so I'm really happy about it. I mean, there's just so much things to play. That's the games I'm super excited. We're also getting that Terminator 2D game that's coming out. I think it's next month.
Right.
Man, it's just we got so much to play. It's insane. So much cool stuff, man. So much cool stuff.
Yeah, it's always that one funny thing. It's the meme out there. Everyone says like there's nothing to play, but we have like backlogs that consist of thousands of games.
I mean, it's like what I asked the chat. How many of y'all have backlogs? They say I do. If I have 30, 40 people on there, all of them say I do. It's the truth. We cannot lie. We all have backlogs. We don't
Yeah,
have the time.
yeah, and that's why we've been trying to do. Me and my friends, we've been doing a not like a video game challenge where we're trying to like beat as many of the games as we can in our backlogs and everything else, like a whole big point system like that too. So it's really nice to like just like look back upon like all the games you were playing this year and just kind of go over just like the sheer amount of like diversity that's in like a lot of people's backlogs. I've just like looking at it a little bit over here cursory, but I've played like the original God of War trilogy, followed that up with the Pokemon series. I'm on to Sun and Moon. Explored a lot of PlayStation 3 games I never played as a kid because I
Mhm.
was Team 360 and I was unfortunate to have three PlayStation 3s break on me, believe it or not. So I was
Mhm.
I had the reverse luck as some people did with the 360. And just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a lot of cool mixture of new games like Doom: The Dark Ages, Midnight's Walk, and the Space Marine remaster, which I was super happy about uh, to replay that one. Because I feel like I only played that like maybe 2 or 3 years ago at this point,
Yeah.
and it was one of those like really fun 360 games that I don't think a lot of people played or remember. And then on top of that too, with the stellar and amazing Space Marine 2, um, if you didn't play the first one, that ending just like does not have as much impact to you if you didn't play the first one, you know?
Yeah, because I haven't played Space Marine 2 though, so I'm like waiting for for right moment to sit down, play Space Marine 1, and then move to Space Marine 2. I'm waiting for that moment.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah, yeah. Because those games, I mean, it's like those are the guys that compete against Gears of War. So you have to give it a go. You have to give it a go. It's hectic, it's chaos, and not only that, you shed things in half. I love that. I love that type of gaming. I love that. I love that. When
Yeah.
you shoot and shred, it's fun.
Yeah, I
Yep.
know. With chainsaws, messing up orcs, giant alien like xenomorph
Yep.
like creatures running everywhere, crazy chaotic space magic and chaos with Egyptian theming. These Space Marine games are awesome.
Yeah, just like how I always wanted a Halo to be.
So before we go any deeper, we kind of had a nice little chat session there, but why don't you tell the audience who you are, what do you do, and give us your background story of what got you into gaming and also YouTubing?
Oh wow. Woo. Man, that's crazy. So, what do you want me to start with? What got me into gaming? What got me into YouTubing? I think I'll start with what got me into gaming. So, which is better because that's a long story, to the YouTube's side of things. So, what got me into gaming though? So, real quick, I'm Crazy Louie from the Xbox International Podcast, which is a podcast that we started pretty much, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago. But I'll put that as but I'll just start off that way and start off with my, my gaming history because the gaming history is pretty long, and then I'll finish up on how we started with the YouTube channel and all that stuff. So pretty much how when I started gaming, it was with a Nintendo NES. That's how I started gaming. I remember I got my Nintendo, with my very first game, which was about a guy in a cemetery with a girl in his underpants. Yes, sir. That was my very first game I popped in. And if you guys do not know about that game, it's called Ghosts and Goblins, which pretty much I did not get that far, not even past the first level, because that game was hell. Man, you as a kid going through that stuff, it was just hell with that game. And also, I had Super Mario Bros. I mean, who did it? I mean, Super Mario Bros. With Duck Hunt. That was pretty good stuff right there, with that Duck Hunt, shooting that duck and playing Super Mario. Another fun game to play, back in the Nintendo days. And man, I just went through a lot because I always tell everyone that complain about hard games, like, oh, these souls are impossible. I cannot finish them. I'm like, bro, you did not play games that we did back in the day. When we sit there, we played Ninja Gaiden, we played Ghosts and Goblins, Castlevania. Castlevania was, oh Lord. Every time you got hit, you got thrown back. Same thing as Ninja Gaiden. I was like, why? Why do we have to get this hit points like to throw us back? And it was just annoying. Then you had Contra, all those great stuff from the Nintendo days that seriously brought us up to be who we are today. And that's one system I really love to talk about is a Nintendo. Like I sit there and I look at the games I played in the history. I remember playing the good ones, the bad ones, the worst ones. I mean, hell, there were so many bad games and so many good and just a few good games on there. Because back in the day, for us to see reviews, we had to either get a Game Pro or a Nintendo Power, or we just headed to the video game rental place, right? Whichever one it was, and we look at the cartridge and like, it's a Dick Tracy video game. Let me go get it. It's Dick Tracy. And when you start to play, like, what the hell? This sucks. It was just like that back in the day. So we went through a lot of pain and punishment back in the day when it comes to gaming, but it was fun times as kids. We really enjoyed it. Going to the video rental store, going into the arcades, and just having a blast with all these games. It was just amazing stuff. And then after that, I moved up to uh, Super Nintendo, then got myself a Sega Genesis, which is a Sega Genesis became Optimus Prime. What I mean by Optimus Prime is I had to get the Sega CD, I had to get the 32X, I had to get I forgot what the other stuff Sega had, but Sega had like a whole bunch of things that at the end of it, you literally transform into Optimus Prime. I mean, this thing was a beast with all the stuff it had. But those were fun games. I was in the whole console war back in the day with Mario versus Sonic. Now I remember me being as a kid saying, "Yeah, I own a Sega Genesis and it has blast processing." And they're like, "What? You know what that is? Yeah, it makes the games go faster." That's all we knew how to say, nothing else, you know. But other than that, you know, Super NES had also great games. I mean, the first Mortal Kombat is the thing that literally kicked Super Nintendo out the way pretty much for Sega because you know Sega had the blood and Nintendo didn't until Mortal Kombat 2 came out, which oh man, that's when it got better. Woo! And that Super Nintendo, those graphics, the detail, oh my god, it was just beautiful. The sound with it was just awesome, awesome, awesome. So yeah, it was a fun time back in the day, you know, battling out between Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, and then after that, you know, I moved up to I think it was PlayStation 1, yeah, and 64. And who did I get a Sega Saturn? No, I did not get. No, I didn't get a Sega Saturn. No, I didn't. I didn't. That was the first time I did not go for Sega. I was between PlayStation 1 and 64, PS1 and 64. Which in PS1, you know, there's just so many games I played so much in that time and era, and just had a blast playing all those games. Like for example, now you know we're getting the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection coming out, and a lot of the games that I love to play are on there, like the Mortal Kombat trilogy, which had almost all the Mortal Kombat characters on PS1. That was amazing. That you could take a grab on it and use Goro, use Motaro, use Shao Kahn, you know, it was awesome. That Mortal Kombat trilogy was awesome. Plus, they had their fatalities, so it was pretty cool. And then after that, and on N64, right, I was playing GoldenEye, Wave Race 64. Oh my God, it's just so many cool stories behind all that stuff. And yeah, of course, I had a PC at home, which that's when I discovered, you know, the game that I truly, dearly love for the rest of my life, and that is Doom. I'm a big fan of Doom. I love Doom to the end. Doom is one of my favorite all-time, you know, first-person shooters to up to this time. And and yeah, and after that, you know, I also moved up to, let me see, after PS1, I moved to PS2, right? PS2 and then I moved up to the Xbox, right? But you know, during those times, you know, I was between PS2 and Xbox, and just stuck in there with PS2 because look, I gotta say something, you know, even though I do not condone piracy, right? Just in case, but back in the day, you know, when you wanted to get games, it was better to put the PS2 chip in it. I also had the Xbox One, the original Xbox hacked, you know, with all these games and all this stuff, but I did not know about the online till the 360 days came by. Oh my God. And I was happy that when I jumped into 360 days, oh man, that's where I actually fell in love even more with the Xbox console. That's where I actually sat there, built my library, got pretty much everything inside an Xbox, man, and just had a blast. I mean, the online was perfect. All my friends were on Xbox, and man, we just came together, played games a lot. We played a lot of Call of Duty, a lot of stuff. And the PS3, though, I was like not really into it. I got one just to play Metal Gear Solid 4. Then after that, I sold it. After like I finished Metal Gear and finished Uncharted, I think it was. I played Uncharted 1, but like Uncharted 1, I was like, yeah, it's okay. I like better Tomb Raider than Uncharted. But yeah, I remember I sold my PS3 and I had the PS3 Metal Gear version, which had the PS1, PS2 that you can put the CD in and have fun with it, you know, the backlog CDs. I don't know why the hell I got rid of it. I was, you know, just I was just like, ah, it's not sitting there. Let me just sell it, you know, and buy a couple games for 360. So that's what I did because you know I had to survive. It's not like nowadays when you're an adult, you make more money. But even though you make more money nowadays, you got more stuff to pay, which is insane.
Yep.
But yeah, that's what sucks. That's what sucks about us nowadays. We got money, like yeah, all of a sudden something breaks in your home, or you gotta fix a car or something. Ah, it's insane. But yeah, I mean, after the 360, of course, I went to Xbox One, got myself a PS4. I remember I upgraded the Xbox One 2 or 3 times. I had the Xbox One original, Xbox One HD, then the Xbox One Slim, but it was the Gears of War version, which that Xbox One Slim Gears of War version was the best Xbox One S that was out there. No joke. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that thing had a scratch under the controller, was fantastic. That console was a beautiful console.
Oh yeah, it was.
Then, then after that, I moved into Xbox One X and PS4 Pro, and now we're here nowadays. You know, with and basically I came back to Nintendo, yeah, because I got myself a Nintendo Switch. Because I saw that little sucker, I said, let me get one of those, and I got myself a little Nintendo Switch, you know, and just played a couple games on Nintendo Switch, and now you know the wife uses it even more than I do because you know she likes to use the exercise games, and she also likes to play Mario Party. Sometimes we sit there and she's a pro in Mario Party. I cannot kick her butt in Mario Party. Imagine that. Yeah, I've been a gamer for like 30 or 40 years. Nerdy Neo is like, what the fuck is an Xbox One HD? Okay. I think it was called an Xbox One HD. Hold on. Let me go look for it real quick. I think it was called that. Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. I'll tell you which one it is. Maybe I got it wrong. There was an Xbox One that had like an extra storage or something. Hold on. Xbox One storage. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. It was like a bigger one. I forgot the name of it. But Xbox One had like two consoles. It had a regular one, and then all of a sudden they had like another one that had like a little bit more storage and a little bit. It was supposed to be a little bit more power. And I remember I upgraded to that console, and it was just, I think it was like the little extra storage it had, but nothing else. Nothing else. I think it did. I gotta look for it. If I find it, I'll post it on here. But yeah, that was back in the day. Then after that, like I said, Xbox One S, and then the Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro, where I got the PlayStation to play most of its exclusives because they were pretty good exclusives back last generation compared to this one, because this one they are remastering a whole lot of stuff. So basically, I got a PS5 for the games I played before, and with the time that you have nowadays, with all these games coming out, because seriously, each and every month you get new games, and not only that, you get them dropped for Game Pass, and so why are you gonna go ahead and turn on this console to play this one game that has been remastered, remade, and you already finished it? You just want to finish what's been cooking and what's been happening nowadays. Now, if it was like a really old game, like 15 or 20 years ago, like I said, with what's it called? Like how they did with Elder Scrolls Oblivion, then you say, okay, this is worth playing. Going back to this, for this game, this one was a good game, stuff like that. But they're just rebooting everything that was from last gen, and you're already done and gone with all that stuff. So yeah,
Yeah.
so I finished. So I finished with the Series X and the PS5, and yeah, I still have the Switch One, which later on down the road I will switch to a Switch Two, and yeah, and also a gaming PC with a 3080 in it that I use basically for podcasting more than gaming. So yeah, that's pretty much is my gaming, story on how I started into gaming, and I've just been gaming pretty much all my life. I mean, seriously, I've been just playing video games since I was like 7 years old till this day, all my life. There's been one time where I said, let me put it to a side. No, all this time playing games.
Yeah, for sure. And there's a lot of great games that came out on all those consoles that you were talking about. My favorite
Yeah,
generation still is probably, like you were saying, the PS2, the Xbox, and the original
yeah.
GameCube generation. Like those were, I always look back fondly on it, especially as I collect more, because that was a time when game budgets were cheap and you can make a video game with like a crew of like 20 people and it could be considered AAA, you know? And they
Because
would
that's
go on.
that's the thing though. That's the thing. Like back in the day, we didn't care about the whole exclusive talk. We just cared about is playing this game. That's all we cared about. Just playing this game.
Well, I also think too, back in the day, we didn't have enough time to, like, I would say, miss a video game or something like that too. Because if you go from like the PS1 generation all the way to just probably about midpoint of the 360 generation, we were getting sequel after sequel like in rapid succession. Like one of the game series that I always like to joke with people about is called the Dot Hack series. Infection, mutation, outbreak, and quarantine was like the four the I don't know how to say it, like the quattro, I guess they would say, And the funny part about that is that entire series was made in just under 1 year's time. They were releasing one of those games every 3 months, just to kind of get them pushed out there. And we could you imagine if you could play like a whole like four set of video games in under a year? I think everyone would just be kind of like shocked and awed and very confused, and they would have to just go like this just seems like it's pushed out slop, I would think.
Mhm. Because here's the thing though, like back in the day, like you said, we had time. But remember one thing, there was like 1,000 games, but how much games did we play throughout the year? Because the thing is that even though there was like 1,000 games out there, we were literally opening up our game pro and all this stuff, and looking at this game like, oh, let's go get this. And then the whole online thing came by, like games. It was I think it was GameSpot, but it used to be called videogames.com.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also had IGN, but I used a lot videogames.com back in the day, to look up for games and all this stuff. And we knew that what was releasing, and we were so hyped up with all these AAA titles that we foresaw and did not look on the other little games that were out there that were pretty good, because there's some games you can tell me about and you see like, oh, I did not play this one. Like for example, a lot of people, I keep telling them that if you played what was this game? Shoot. Like a lot of people have never played oh my god, I totally forgot about that game now. Oh Lord, that scary game. It was a scary game, but it was about the girl that takes pictures.
Oh,
I
Fatal
forgot
Frame.
the name. Fatal Frame. Not a lot of people played Fatal Frame back in the day. And I remember when I heard about that game, the first one, I had to go get it. I think it was in PS2 or PS1. I had to go get it. But it was in Japanese. I was like, what the hell am I seeing this? I don't know what the hell I was doing, but man, it was a scary game. And then
Mm-hmm.
when Fatal Frame 2 came out, I got that baby, which I don't know where it is, but it's around here somewhere. I don't, but it's around here somewhere. It's one of those games that you gotta have in your collection, because that was a big time for Fatal Frame. It's actually the best game they ever released out there. And man, it was just great. Like I said, there was just so many games out there you just didn't look upon to. You're like, oh, did you ever play this game? No, but okay, let me look it up. I love I
Yeah,
saw a picture of this, never got onto it. Yeah, that's how it was.
yeah. That's like one of the fun parts though about growing up. Is like everyone has like a memory because every kid on the block like had different financial incomes or they had like different systems and stuff like that. So some people would introduce you to other games that they heard about, and you would do the vice versa. I remember growing up, I had a friend who was a little bit older than me. I think I was like 7, and he was like 9. But he had like the fun parents, and he would bring over like games like Resident Evil, The Misadventures of Tron Bonnie, and like Mega Man Legends and stuff. And that's how I learned about those games. And then we'd kind of bond over Pokemon, and we just talk about Pokemon. But like, yeah, there's a lot of games too that I go back to and I try to play. My biggest problem is I suffer from I think the term is like night blindness, so I can't really see things in the dark that well on a
Yeah,
TV screen. And I was trying to play Fatal Frame, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't even see anything in this game because like
yeah.
the first part of the level of Fatal Frame, if you people don't know, it's in black and white, and we're talking like black is overpowering the white, right? Like everything is like so dark and impossible to see. So I'm like stumbling around here, and I'm looking at the screen, going like, I can't see anything, so I have to crank up the saturation, and I'm like, now it just looks like shit, and now this is not even scary. Now it's just making me mad that I can't enjoy this in a proper way. But all those like fun, innovative games from like back in the day. Did you ever play a game called Metal Arms by any chance?
Metal Arms. Hold on, let me look. Let me go look for it. Metal Arms. It's like people who didn't own a Super Soak. So what's it called? Super Soak, was it?
Super Soakers.
Uh, the Super Soakers. Yeah. No, it wasn't the Super Soaker. The one the Super Nintendo. Which one's called? Not the Super Soaker. It was called. I forgot the name. Super
Oh,
Scope. Super Scope. No, I
oh
never
yeah,
played
yeah,
the
yeah.
Metal
That's
Arms.
it.
Yeah, the Super Scope. Yeah, it's like when I tell everybody like oh my god, this awesome game that they had for the Super Scope that you had to face these robots. Not a lot of people played that game too. That was a good game, but no, I have never heard of Metal Arms. This is the first time I hear about it.
Yeah, so Metal
To be
Arms
honest.
is like you play as a little robot guy, and
Yeah.
it's kind of like a more cheaper version of Ratchet and Clank with like a whole different heart story in that. I know it's backwards compatible on Xbox 360. It is an original Xbox, PS2, and GameCube title, and it's not that expensive. But if anyone ever gets a chance, they should check that game out because it's actually pretty
Is
fun.
it is it better than Ratchet and Clank? Let me throw some slander in here.
You know what? How can I say this? I don't hate Ratchet and Clank. I just think
I don't either.
the first 3 games were just really good, and then like after that, they've just been all kind of like meh to me. You know,
I get it.
it's like I just really loved Going Commando and Up Your Arsenal. Like those were really great games, and I have so many fond memories of them. But like every time I try to play one now, I even try to play it Rift Apart, and it just wasn't fun. Like I was just like this doesn't like hold my attention as much as I wish it did. I've been having more fun going back and playing like the older PlayStation platformers like Ratchet and Clank and Jack and Daxter. especially
Mhm.
now that you can access them all on PS4 and PS5 in a more convenient manner. And it just
Yeah.
makes me like long for the days of playing Sly Cooper. I feel like my everyone kind of has like their favorite like player on the team. You know what they're saying? You know what that means? It's like there's always that one player that you root for more than others if you watch sports or something like that. And for me, out of
Yeah.
like Sony stables, the two studios that really hold my heart are Sony Santa Monica and Sucker Punch.
Mhm.
And for some reason, I Sucker Punch has yet to make a game that has disappointed me, and that's why I'm like I miss Sly Cooper the most because Sly Cooper was like my jam back in the day, and I
Yeah,
recently
everybody talks about it. I
I
mean, I never played Sly Cooper, so
oh,
yeah,
you got to play Sly Cooper, man.
gotta play Sly Cooper. Yeah.
Especially now that all three of them are on the PlayStation, it's so easy to do them now with modern rewind mechanics and stuff like that too. Sony has done a lot of great things with their backwards compatibility that I wish Xbox would kind of copy and improve on as well. You know?
I mean, Xbox has been kicking butt with the backwards compatibility too, and they've done a great job too. But I know what you mean, like bringing up those whole classic platformers, and we love back in the day and stuff like that. I get you, I get you,
Yeah, but it's
because
all
that's
it's like some quality of life improvements too. It's just like save
yeah,
states. Uh, I'm not a big trophy hunter and I'm not a big achievement guy, but it is nice
same here.
to play those games with like a little bit of like proof that you beat them now too. It's just like, oh look, I got the trophy, I got the achievement. I can say like I beat it. And I do think it helps a little bit.
It helps a little bit, like it makes you like, yeah, I'm the king now. I beat this.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean, it's like what it's everyone from the whole trophy thing that's going on. That's brand new into this. Like everybody measures people now with the trophy system thing. I'm like, that does not make you a gamer. A gamer, what really makes you a gamer is when you sat down back in those days with NES games. You sat there, played Ninja Gaiden. Killed that final boss, and went through Castlevania to kill Dracula, Contra. My God, I mean, oh Lord, we
yeah.
we went through hell back in the day. We didn't get those achievements, but for us, the achievement was finishing the game. Seeing that 2-minute ending, like the Karate Kid, son of a bitch. You have become a karate master. Thank you, Mr. Miyagi. That's it. Goodbye. Like what? What
That's
happened?
it. That's
Oh,
all.
that's it. That's all. Yeah. Oh Lord. I mean, that was horrible. That was horrible for us back in the day. But hey, at least the games were fun. Almost impossible to beat. But yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
and that's the one thing. This is like kind of like why I kind of like achievements just slightly more than trophies, is because it does have that old school video gamer mentality. It's like going into the arcade and see who's got like the highest score amongst your friends and stuff like that too. It's like, look at me, I could dominate this game really well because I actually played this game to the fullest that I can possibly play it, like according to the devs' eyes, and that that to me just does still capture that gaming spirit a little bit more. Like when you get a platinum trophy, like there's that it's like this weird like self satisfying like feel to it for some games, but like that achievement system, it just makes you have like a little bit of like that old school competitiveness with your friends. At
Yeah,
least more
because
so
you
like back in the
yeah,
day.
because you got a list of friends and it tells you you're in third place, you're in fourth place, your friend is on first place.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, he's on first place. That sucker, I gotta get back to him, I gotta get him.
Right. And that's the problem too. It's just like and like every month I always lose. It's like it's a miracle when I get first place in a month, but it's just my friend Neo in the chat, he's like an achievement hunter, so I'm always going to just naturally lose by default. And on top of that too, he only plays on like really just two places. Versus me, it's like, well, I got to switch, maybe I'm on a Switch kick. Now I'm on a PlayStation kick. It makes it harder to really get attached to that ecosystem sometimes when you could go and do you know do other things and experience other things. And like the funny part is like the whole reason why I'm playing Assassin's Creed on the PlayStation is because I don't like how it feels mapped to an Xbox controller. I tried it, a few times on my Xbox, and I'm like, I don't know what it is. It just doesn't feel like naturally placed in my hands. like in terms of how the buttons are mapped in that too. So like I'm one of those like weirdo people, you know. I feel like I'm on the spectrum a little bit for that. It's like I will buy video games on certain platforms just because of how the controller feels more than anything else.
I get you. I know how it is. I know how it is. We all have our preferences. I don't judge people for what they want to play at. I always tell them that. Even though I'm an Xbox guy, I'm supposed to be warring against PlayStation fans. I always say I don't judge anyone for who or where they want to play. As long as they're playing games, as long as they're in. Like I said, you gotta have your 2 feet on the ground. As long as you got your 2 feet on the ground and have a nice debate. Don't get mad, don't insult each other. I'm happy. I'm always happy to receive anyone on my channel, because at the end of the day, it's like what I say. I go by the news every like an hour and a half. The news is done, and then we sit there for like 30 minutes or an extra hour just talking games or talking about what's going on out there. If there's some like gaming gossip stuff like that, we just have a little bit of fun on. Just
Oh yeah.
just take a break. Yeah, we take a break from all that console war and all that stuff, and just talk about games in general. Like, oh, why have you been playing all this game? Oh man, I remember playing this game. And we talk about going to the arcades or renting games. Man, it was just beautiful times back in the day. Beautiful times.
Yeah,
Beautiful times.
you know what? Like I don't like getting into the whole console war stuff because I actually got one of my Twitter accounts banned because of a console warrior taking it a little too
Really?
far. Yeah.
What? No
Yeah, so
way! You got banned. What you do?
so there I made like when the PlayStation 5 came out, I had like a very viral tweet just going like I forgot what it said, but it was just kind of like basically saying like all we have is Astrobot or something is the long and short.
Oh
and
Lord.
and this PlayStation guy was like messaging me in the DMs and stuff, and he was like trying to show me a picture of his penis because he was one of these.
What?
Yeah, I'm dead serious about this.
What?
So apparently, this guy was like one of those weird OnlyFan guys, which is a rare
Mhm,
breed, and
mhm.
like because I like to check people's Twitter to see like what their stances are because people like will always out themselves if they're a console warrior right away, and it
Mhm,
was.
mhm.
And then the weird part was like he was also shilling like pictures of his penis. I was like, oh my god, I'm out of here. And then he kept
Yeah.
like DMing me, and he kept saying, go to my page, and I'm like, no, no. And then we were getting into, we're motherfucking each other, we're calling each other names after a certain point,
Oh Lord.
and
And
I
he
said to
got
him,
you into it.
and he got me because I said, Jesus Christ, you want to, like, you were up on my dick so much. I said to him, I was like, I'll let you see it if you pay me money. Jesus. And then I got banned for that. And I've never been able to get my account back. I had to make a new one.
Wow. Wow, you fall into their trap because that's what they do.
Yeah.
They set you out there on Twitter. They like to set you up. I mean, I don't know if you ever seen. I did a video once, and it was just I did it on purpose, which I can't wait to do it again on a Tuesday. This Tuesday, I'm doing that video again just to see what they're gonna say. I mean, I know I'm gonna get. I don't know if I'm gonna get the same interaction, but hell, it's gonna be fun. As soon as Helldivers gets in, I will do it. You should have seen that. I had 177 responses, and all I did was laugh. I mean, I even showed it on the air. And I was talking about all those responses when we were all laughing. I mean, we have one guy calling me a 40-year-old virgin living in my mama's house. I was just like laughing my butt off with all those comments. Like, why am I gonna get mad at you? I made this video for fun, and y'all get mad. I mean,
Yeah.
it's so easy to get them mad. I don't understand, but
I,
it's
I don't understand them either. Like,
yeah,
I understand a lot of things that in life that can make people mad. I get it, but like I used to just like really hate listening to console warriors. Like I still kind of do. There's like maybe a few that I can listen to. Like my favorite one is good old Dirt Griggity. You know,
of
I
course, yeah,
I
good
I,
old dirt, yeah,
I love listening to him only because I'm a big sports guy too. So like when I
yeah.
listen to it, it reminds me of like getting into arguments in the parking lot while we're tailgating before a football game. So like I enjoy listening to it because it sounds just like that. It's just like, guys like, basically telling you like, yeah, our team's really good, but we also suck, but it's our year, or maybe it's not our year, who knows? We're gonna kick the other team's ass, and then we get our asses kicked because like Sony will come out with like a great exclusive. You're like, man, whatever, good game, good game. It's still good, it's still good. We're still got next time, don't worry. And it's just like I get it, especially because like the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 like generation, it was really hard to say that you liked Xbox sometimes, and I still liked my Xbox. Like I still played it for most of my multi-platforms and stuff. But towards the end of that generation, I'm playing games like God of War. I'm playing games like Spider-Man. I'm playing games like Monster Hunter World,
Mm-hmm.
and like I'm spending more time on a PlayStation. And on top of that, too, one of my more favorite features about the PlayStation 4 was like it made you feel like alive. Like and this how
Yeah.
I'm going to explain this is like very simple. They had like this very simple UI that you could customize with like those animated backgrounds and stuff like that. And
Mm-hmm.
I love those. They were like great pre-order bonuses or pack-ins and stuff like that. Like if I got bored, I put on the God of War background. If I got bored, I put on the Persona background or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's little things like that, like that make a platform feel more alive. It's kind of like
Yeah.
the Xbox 360 generation where you had the same thing, where you could buy the backgrounds, you could decorate your avatars. There was like tie-ins to unlock avatar rewards, so it gave you more incentive to play some games. But on top of that too,
Mm-hmm.
they also had like those amazing features that people like forget about. One of my favorite ones was still like this is not video game related, but Netflix had basically a movie theater mode, and you could sit down with like a couple buddies and you could watch the same movie together and have
Yeah.
your little Xbox avatars like react like it was Mystery Science Theater 3000 and stuff.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. That's nice.
So
That's nice. Yeah. Good things from back in the day, huh? That we
yeah,
need to come back.
like they
No,
should
I
bring a
love.
lot of these things back because they
Yeah.
I don't think they take that much UI power or anything else like that. But like all things in life, it's is it worth the time to appease a few people? And generally
Exactly. Yeah.
generally speaking, a lot of gamers will tune it out. But for stuff like me and stuff like that as well, it's just like there's that little soul that like makes these things more fun. Like it makes fun like happen to just bring people together. To watch a movie, to do a Friday night 1 versus 100 kind of game style, to do like multiplayer video game nights and stuff like that. And
Uh,
like that's great, but like we're getting older, so it's like
yeah.
your priorities start to change just a little bit, and
Yep.
I
That's what's
feel
happening. We get older.
yeah, I
We get older.
I feel
That's what
like
sucks.
I feel like it's like once you reach a certain age, it's like, man, is it worth getting upset about everything? It's just like, well, I can be disappointed in something, but I also have like, time to go and just like, I gotta do something else. It's like I gotta maintain my health better. I gotta go to the gym more. I gotta go to work still. And at the end of the day, it's just like I come home and I'm like, does the box play the game at this point?
Yeah,
It's
that's what you gotta get into. Not only that, you also gotta look, okay, is this going to get on the Game Pass? Okay, then I'll play it on Game Pass. And if I like it down the road, I'll purchase it, for a cheaper price. Those are the things you gotta focus on, right? I mean, you gotta
yeah,
focus on how to protect your wallet, how to protect your money, because lately, it's getting more and more expensive. This thing is gonna get even more. We're gonna get to a point where we're gonna have to buy consoles like a cell phone. I
yeah,
hope we don't get to that, but it's getting close to that number, which is insane. And that's something that people don't sit down and think about. Like this is actually happening, this is coming soon, and it's about to get even, more expensive. It's getting worse for us, it's getting way more worse for us out here. For example, when you build a PC now, it costs so much money to build a
yeah,
PC nowadays. And that's why people have the option of consoles. But consoles, people are like, they're pretty much, they cost the same as the laptop that has a 3080 in it. And with the 3080, I get better stuff. Let me go buy the laptop, which is better. It's a tough situation. There's a lot of competition out there, and it's insane. It's
yeah.
insane. Yeah.
Well, like this whole need to die on a hill for these multi-billion-dollar companies and go like, well, what about the profits? I'm like, bro, I don't care. Like their job is to make what they're doing profitable. My job is to entertain myself and the
Playing these
few hours
games.
of rest I have in this mortal coil before I go and pass on. It's like it's not my job.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Our job is to sit there, relax, and have some fun. But the thing is, like, for example, like for what I do every day, I have to report on the news of what's cooking.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, I always sit there and I talk to the chat. We talk about anything. We just talk about like gossip, or we talk about movies or games, stuff that we love, we enjoy. We always try to sit down and talk about all that stuff. Because look, it's out there when you sit down, you look at all these Twitter spaces, right? You look at all
Hmm.
these places where you sit there and you look at what these guys are saying. They have gotten it to another level, which I just sit there. I'm like, oh my god, this does not make any sense. Why do you guys have to go up to this level? Attack each other this way.
Right.
Why don't we say, hey, let's play a game. I'm gonna kick your butt over here. Oh, let's play a game. Kick your butt over there. Make it fun, make it simple, like how it was back in the day. Like when you went to the arcade, you had a line of people. You had this one person in the arcade sitting there, be like, okay, I'm ready to kick your butt. If I win, I get this. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Those were fun times back in the day. Nowadays, it's like it's so toxic. It's sad. I mean, look what you just said. You got guys sending you penis pictures. Oh,
Yeah. Right.
that is just insane. That is just insane. So real quick, because I know I kind of derailed a little bit the show. So real quick, I'm just gonna tell you the story how I got into
By all
YouTubing.
means. Yeah. Sure. That's fine.
So yeah, so how did I get into YouTubing? It was one day I was sitting there with Sour Blue. We were having a conversation, which I met Sour Blue that day. And Sour Blue, me and him were talking, and he's like, "Lou, let's do a podcast." I said, I'll give it a try. Why not? I'll try it out. I'll do a podcast. Why the heck not? Let's see how it goes. And we started doing a show in Spanish. It was called what's it called? Oh my God, I forgot the name of the channel. Lord, seriously, I forgot the name of the channel because it was like 3 or 4 years ago. Um, but we started in Spanish, and then we started to move up. And I told Sour, why don't we do an English show? And so I was like, yeah, I mean, you got the time? Yeah, let's do an English show. I mean, you and me speaking English, let's do an English show. And then we started doing an English show. We tried to get some Xbox guys on there. That's why we got Silent Cypher. And it used to be another buddy of ours, but since he worked for the company of Microsoft, he couldn't do podcasting with us. So after that, we went after and said, "Hey, Plume, why don't you come join us?" Plume joined in, and that's how we became the Xbox International Podcast, and that's what we've been doing for like the last 3 or 4 years. This year, we haven't been on as much because the guys have gotten a busy schedule. We have all had busy schedule. I've had a bit, even me, for example, it used to be Wednesdays nights, 7 p.m. And I told the guys to do it once a month or twice a month. Let's just shorten it up a bit because I'm already doing the morning shows, which is already put in from Mondays to Saturdays. Like I sit there and I do my morning show, talk about what's going on in the morning news. Or if I got some time to play on a Saturday, I sit there for 2 hours and play on Saturday. So I'm just gonna start choosing my Saturdays to play a game for the chat to have some fun. I'm gonna start doing that. So but yeah, that's what I do. I do my morning shows, and just have a blast. And I remember as soon as we started the XBI, I remember that ABK deal happened. And after that, we have like 100 and 150 episodes in of Xbox International Podcast, but 95 of them are about the ABK deal. Oh Lord, we really put a lot of work into that one. That was the main talk. The ABK deal was the main talk and main conversation because everybody was like, "No, it's not going to happen. Yes, it's going to happen." We had a versus battle out there, which is actually it was a fun versus battle instead of having this console war, like we did. But that versus battle was pretty cool, like saying, "Oh yeah, I'm in for it. Oh no, I'm not in for it. I'm 50-50." Like for example, I was always 50-50 because when it all began, I was 100% sure they were going to buy it. But as soon as I read how tough it is, to deal with regulators and stuff, I said, well, I'm 50-50. I don't know if it's going to go through, or I don't know if it will go through. But at the end, it went through, and I was really happy it did. As hell, look at us now. We're playing these Call of Duty games on our Xbox. I mean, on our Game Pass, which is a good thing because it's a game we always used to buy every year. So that's money we're saving right there, So it's a good thing. And that's why I try to discipline my chat all the time by telling them, listen, you got to vote with your wallet instead of, with all this fanboy stuff. For example, the PS5 Pro, a lot of people jump in there. It's like, yeah, it's the number one console out there. It's the best one. But I keep telling them, why you're going to spend $700 when you're already playing games, and 2K on the Xbox Series X and on the PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
It's crazy that you have to go out there and spend that extra $700 to say I got a Pro when you're playing this way. It wasn't like last gen. Well, last gen we were 1080p, right? And that's it. That was just all lit. we had these two consoles that pushed 2K and 4K, which is the Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro. Now that was something worth buying because this was something that was pushing more and more. But here it's like it's not pushing that much. It's just a little bit of detail more than anything. So yeah, I mean it's been crazy. It's been crazy.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I recently picked up a PlayStation 5 Pro. I bought it used on Macari for
How is it?
well, I got a good deal on it. It was $550, but it came with a disc
Good.
drive.
That good. That's a good deal then.
Yeah,
You actually got a pro for what the prices should be. It should be
right.
between $600. Yeah, not 700. It's a lot of money.
So
And with the disk drive, so that's a good price.
yeah, that's the only reason why I pulled the trigger because I the disc
Yeah,
drive and
good. Yeah.
everything, and it was a good deal. But regardless, I've been playing it a lot more. There is a nice feature on there that will boost PS4 games if their frame rate isn't that good to
Yeah,
60.
that's good.
And I've been testing out Assassin's Creed, but I know it did get a PlayStation 5 patch to be at 60. I'm not really seeing anything super crazy with like any of the PlayStation 5 Pro enhanced games. I'm going to
Mhm.
start Hogwarts Legacy soon. To kind of give that one a test drive as well because
That's a great game.
it is a great game, and on top of that
It is.
too, it ran like not amazing on the base PlayStation 5. I I,
Oh,
I do remember that because my wife was playing it. We would see some issues from time to time. My full disclaimer: my wife is a huge Harry Potter fan, so we have bought that game on Xbox, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and PC. We kind of did like a whole like trifecta of it because she's just obsessed with it, and I liked it too, and I played it. But when I was playing it on PC and you have uncapped frame rates, I'm like, this game awesome, amazing. I have no issue. Everything's moving. There's no real slowdowns or dips. My PC has like a 3070, so it handles everything pretty well. And then I go over to like the PlayStation, and I'm just like, I can notice when there was like some dips. Like it would perform very well, but I could feel the dips. So right now, my overall opinion about the PlayStation 5 Pro is that it's still not worth it personally right now. But
yeah.
I,
It's gonna take a while. It's like a lot of people. I'm seeing this happening this generation. It's like they were promised us. Remember when Aaron Greenberg came out with the tweet saying that the box was gonna be 4K 60, pretty much all the games. Remember when he
right,
said
yeah,
that?
of course.
We're still not getting that. And I understand that there was a COVID situation. I understand I understand all that stuff. That what everybody has gone through. It's been hell. This generation has been hell without these games. So it's like what I say. It's like lately when people ask me, "How do you feel about this gen?" I said, "I'm ready for next gen. I'm ready to cook for next gen." We're 5 years in. We have not seen the massive improvements. We have not seen the power of these consoles, which we probably see it like next year, probably. So I'm saying probably because I don't know yet. Because seriously, we just have not seen it. It's been 5 years. We still have not seen it. Probably next year we'll probably see it. But hell, I want to see what next gen is going to be like. Because now, with everything they're talking about and how interesting it's going to be next gen, it's like having one box with all the storefronts in it. That's just going to be amazing for all of us. We don't have to like run out there, get a PC, get a PS5, get all this stuff. We've already got this box that has every storefront these games head to. So we're going to
Yeah.
be super happy about it.
See,
Super happy about it.
so if you see for me, when people talk to me about this video game generation, I
Yeah.
I take a look at it from this perspective. I'm not what they like to call a black pillar. I don't think like everything is like terrible. All these systems are bad. No games are
No.
good. Like some of these people online, but I do think that what we're seeing this generation is we're seeing like the floor of gaming rising, but we haven't seen the ceiling kind of rise too. Because
Exactly. Yeah.
there's so many great, amazing like double A and indie games out there that I've been enjoying and playing so much more. And you're seeing like that little revolution come back again. We got games like all these amazing wacky games, all right? Like Slay the Princess is one game I really love. There's A Sucker for Love, which is just a fun little like Cthulhu dating sim that's over the top and wacky. I love it. You got games
Yeah.
like Plucky Squire that came out, and it's just like
Lucky
so
Squire. Wow.
yeah, it's so charming and awesome to play to see like these indie devs work with like different art styles, different physics, different like storytelling. Like you could tell
Yeah.
like they don't have the budget to work with some of these games, obviously, because they're small indie games, but they're starting to make more innovative uses of the technology, especially with like how Unreal is becoming more like accessible to a lot of devs, and you see a lot of these like, you know, indie guys just go out there and make awesome games that are just amazing to see. Like Grounded kind of came out of nowhere. Grounded technically is, basically a single A,
Mm-hmm.
double A level, game, but like it's so fun and people are just having just a basic grand old time, playing a game. It's just like no one really cares. What like I think one of my favorite games was Hi-Fi Rush, and like there was that big like push, to go like, oh, it's not a triple A game. I'm like, who cares? Is it fun? Are we having fun? Is it a good game? It's like why are we talking about like this weird stuff like with all these other like consoles and stuff like that? It's just like are we playing fun amazing games? Like I don't remember like the time where it's like we had to talk about the budgets of everything being made and finding out like if the quality of the game well, it's like the joke is like is if my opinion of this game needs to let me know by how much money it made. It's like who cares about that stuff too. And Neo
Mm-hmm.
points out in chat too, Dave the Diver, another very awesome and amazing game, and am still very upset
Yeah.
that Phil Spencer hasn't got that on Xbox. Come on, Phil, let's
It,
go.
here's the thing about these games nowadays, right? I mean, if Sony has a agreement there, it's gonna take a while. Because the thing is, Sony likes to really tie things up, and they really like to do that. So if Sony has an agreement on there, man, it's gonna be tough for Phil to get on there. But I really do hope he gets Dave the Diver on there. This generation, what has taught me is that these indie developers are kicking more ass than these big AAA games. That is the truth. I mean, it's incredible how much excitement I got. For example, in this Gamescom, you asked me, Lou, what was your favorite game you saw in Gamescom? What was the game that really got you hyped? We saw Ninja Gaiden HD again. We saw Silent Hill F again. We saw all this stuff. But there was this one game that really stuck out to me, and that is the Masters of the Universe, the He-Man game. Oh my god. I mean, just that simple game got me hyped. Simple game. And then not only that, so it's made by Bitmap Barrel. Those guys, I really love them to death because I remember when I started podcasting back in the day, they sent me some cool posters that I have in my back wall.
Mm-hmm.
Because I asked them because they did a game called Xeno Crisis. And it was like pretty much like an alien thing. And since I'm a big alien fan, I said, hey guys, how can I get some posters for this game? They said, hey, we're sending it to you for free. They took their time, sent it to me. I had them framed. They're right there on my hanging. Always right there on the wall hanging. I love their games, and now they like to make beat 'em ups. Now they're making that Terminator 2D game that that Nerdy Neo says is up for October, which is good for me because it gives me more time to finish up and catch up with some games. Because not only that, there's a guy Silent Hill F coming out, which is going to be another amazing game that I really want to take a look at it. But yeah, these indie games are kicking butt. You got Terminator coming out, another one that's called Terminator Survivors. You got the Killer Clowns game that came out this year,
Mm-hmm.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that was amazing. And even though it didn't get a lot of fans in it, but man, that game was super fun. It was really good graphics, super fun game to play. But it's like those are the type of games I'm actually really looking for more than the AAA games.
Yeah.
Insane, insane.
Yeah, because I'm linking this one right now to their Twitter page, but there was this game at Gamescom. I think it's
See,
Dash
I think I
Attack.
saw Edge Attack. Yeah.
Yeah, this game looks absolutely bonkers and amazing, and I linked it in the description. I mean the chat over here. But it's an over the top like it looks like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater
Oh,
meets
with
like
trains. Yeah.
yeah, it meets like a over the top like anime aesthetic and feel like this
Uh-huh.
this is like the stuff that I live for in games. Like I instantly looked at that and I was like, oh, this is an Adam game right away. It's just like I'm gonna sit there, I'm gonna play this game, I'm gonna love it probably. It had like a really awesome soundtrack and stuff like that. And I can't wait to play that game. And like
Mhm.
this is what I'm saying here too. It's like I don't understand how you could call yourself like a gamer, like and not want to like experience like the breadth and depth of like the whole games industry. Like how like if you just play nothing but Call of Duty and Madden, I don't mind that you do that, but I would never call you a
Mhm.
gamer. I'd be like, well, you play games. But like
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
me, it's like if you call yourself a gamer, you have to have like and this is my opinion. You can disagree with me, but it's like you have to have
Right.
at least tried a video game in multiple genres, a few times, and on top of that too, you have to have video games like in different genres that you like as well. Like you don't have to be a master of all of them. Like you can still have your preferences. Like some people are JRPG gamers, some people are shooter fans, and everything else like that. That's fine.
Yeah.
But it's just
Mm-hmm.
like to call yourself like a gamer, like you don't need to own every console, but you should be able to like get the breadth of like different genres out of you.
What yeah, exactly. What different types of games, like the JRPGs. Like for example, my JRPG of all time is Chrono Trigger. I mean that's a
Mm-hmm.
game that I have it on my mobile still, and I go back and play it all the time when I'm traveling or something. That's the game I'm always go back to. I love Chrono Trigger to death. It's one of my favorite, games of all time. Um, but yeah, I know what you mean. Like for example, that train game looks like Jet Set Radio. So
Yes.
yeah, it looks like just like Jet Set Radio. There's another one that Nerd takes. He says Mouse PI. Yeah, Mouse PI is another game that I'm actually looking forward to.
Yeah, that looks
Because look,
great.
I mean, they brought Hexen the other day, and man, Hexen looks great.
Oh
And
my
I
goodness,
installed Hexen, and
that was
I was
such a
having fun with Hexen.
that was
Yeah, I
such a
was having fun
surprise
with.
drop too, man. I was so hyped. I
Yeah,
was like, you get Heretic and Hexen,
yep.
like let's go. Just like $15. Like how could you argue with that price too? And
It runs great. It feels great. I mean, I was having fun with that game. I was like, wow, this is amazing. Simple game. Like how it was back in the day. It looks with the modern graphics. It looks pretty good. It doesn't look that bad like how it did back in the old days. But man, it was just amazing running through it. And there's just like I said, all these small games are actually the ones that are hitting it big. Like for example, Vampire Survivors
mm-hmm.
was a massive hit.
Oh yeah.
Massive hit. I mean, I have it on myself on Balatro. Like I
Oh,
mentioned Robocop
Balatro.
before. Balatro, man. Balatro is a game that sucks you in, man. It sucks you in with all the time in the world, but it's really good.
Yes.
It's really good.
It-
And that's the thing, though. These indie games are kicking ass nowadays. These AAA games, okay, you're done with them, you play them, you feel like it's the same formula. Ran
mm.
into it, it's the same formula again, again, again. It's like the horror games, right? The scariest games I have played in recent years were here on PC. Simple, scary games, not these Resident Evils like it was back in the day. Because I always tell everybody one of my favorite things about Resident Evil was that first time when you walk into the mansion, you roll left, and then you open that door, you see that zombie eating that person. And you see that guy just turning over, you see that face, like, oh shit, I'm in hell right now. That's something that was impressive. But nowadays, it's like Resident Evil is just not the same. Silent Hill F, I hope, and I really do hope they really bring a lot more of the horror aspect because they seen what they did. Because there's this one scene that I saw like this doll kind of like character coming with a knife and try to stab the girl, and I
Yeah.
was like, oh shit! Just a quick thing. I was like, man, this one's gonna be a hype one. This is gonna be a scary hype one. So I gotta play this game. Um, it happened to me with Alan Wake, like the first one, Alan Wake. It wasn't that scary. Now the second one though, oh, they really pumped like the scary feature into it. And that's some things that, these AAA games are missing out on. And not only that, like I always say, they need to sit down and say, okay, let's make a good 15 to 20-hour game with a great story. We are missing so much on those games that the indie devs are bringing that back. That's why a lot of people are waiting so much on these indie games because hell, they sit there, they play it for a week and they're done. Let's
Yeah.
move on to the next one. That's something that we need. I mean, look at Expedition 33. If I would have finished it, it would have been a month ago, but it literally took me a month to finish because of the time we have.
Right.
If it was like, for example, South of Midnight took me almost like a week. So that's what I mean, though. We need those type of games to come back. Those simple 15, 20 hours, good story, action, stuff like that for us to have fun with and get it out and done.
Yeah.
We need that to come back.
Well, like you keep like you said, it's just like, but you also have all these other like studios that are just kind of filling those gaps now with like the time frame and everything else. Um, One of probably the most new franchises that's slowly working its way into possibly being in my top 10 is the Plague's Tale games as well.
Wow, yeah, that's a good game.
Yeah. Requiem. Oh my goodness, Maron. It's a great game. Great game. I remember playing Innocence, and it was awesome. Like it was a very fresh, unique concept. Like you could tell that this was made on a slower budget and stuff like that. But it had all the hallmarkings of, what makes a good video game. It had a really good story. It had decent to fun gameplay because it was mostly stealth based. And I'm not a big, slow stealth guy. Loud and proud, baby. We're throwing grenades and we're busting down the door is usually my style. But it you're playing as like a teenage girl, so of course you're not going to be like the ultra super powerful, hero here. So it makes sense. And like you got this crazy over the top rats mechanics and stuff. And like I feel like when I played Requiem, it's like this is what a video game sequel should look like. The graphics were just so much, vastly improved. Like you could just tell, like it's just wild. One of the most gorgeous games that you can play this generation is Plague Tale Requiem. On top of that, too, it's like the gameplay mechanics got more solid. You can tell they put more time and effort into making Amicia like, more of a warrior now, and also like improve on the stealth mechanics. And they like made sense too, because in the first game she's only really got a sling and stuff, so she can't really do too much. But now in this one, you got like she's got a crossbow and she's doing all sorts of crazy stuff running away from the rats. Honestly, it's just like Plague Tale Requiem is if anyone's ever played Uncharted 2, this is like what I feel like Uncharted 2 would feel like if it came out today, because that's how great Plague Tale Requiem is. It's just it feels like that first feeling I had when I played Uncharted 2 for the first time, and I was just like having so much fun.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those games. Like I said, I mean, that's what I'm saying. There's so many good games out there, and we're so focused on all these big titles. Like, for example, um, look at this Black Myth Wukong thing that happened these days, right? I mean, everybody got mad at it because it was like a supposed shady deal or something like that, And I tell everybody this. I even told everybody this on the channel. I said, if you want to buy this game, I won't judge you. Go ahead and buy it. Me, I'm not gonna buy it for now because I'm gonna wait for patches because I know that game when it released on the PS5 wasn't looking that great. And even though it released on Xbox, running everything pretty much at perfect stance, but the game still has some issues that needs to be fixed. So, but it's a game that I tell everybody, if you want to go ahead and buy it, I won't judge you. It's a good game for you to buy because not only that, you're telling game science, hey, here we're buying your game, we enjoyed it, we rated it, and it was a fun game. A lot of people were waiting for that game. But the thing is, right, it's like everybody always focuses on the big stuff. And people need to sit down and focus on what's little and what can be great. Take, like, for example, look how you're talking about the Plague Tale. That's a great game. The story behind that game, the way the first one ended, was amazing. I mean, I haven't hopped into the second one because I said I gotta find the time to sit down and play. I own it, I have it, and I can't wait to sit down and play it. So I can get dedicated the time. But I know that game was gonna suck me up because it just has a good, solid story behind it. Those are the type of games we need to come back. Those are the type of games we need to sit down, look at it, come back instead of focusing on these big ass titles. That's why I try to hype up a lot of indie games nowadays because indie games, like I said, are the ones that are kicking butt out here. And it's giving me something that I really want because don't get me wrong, I like open world games, but it gets to a point where you sit there and every month you see 10 open world games, one, simple game, or 5 semi-open games, one simple game. You're like, whoa, please put that away,
Yeah.
Some, like for example, Snipers Elite, good game because it's semi-open, because you're on that map and you get to do stuff on that map, just that map, You don't have to like, oh, let me grab my gun, let me grab a horse, let me travel over here, oh, let me open this chest, let me go. No. You do this all on this map and that's it, then you move to the next. That's something that I also enjoy because it also helps you sit there in that map, do whatever you want. It can take you an hour, probably 30 minutes, but it's a fun hour because it's so engaging. It's awesome. But yeah, they need to bring back those games. They need to sit there. Like, for example, this train game is pretty cool. And I imagine it. Not only that, if they put that game on mobile, it will kick. You remember that game that you had this guy running around on the train tracks. I don't know if you ever played that game on the cell phone. He's like running around collecting coins, and then all of a sudden
I've seen
the
it.
police. Yeah, that game. It probably kicked that game's butt because we need these type of games to be everywhere. For us to enjoy. But yeah, let's wait and see. Let's see how that one goes with the Densha because man, it's gonna be a fun one. It's gonna be a true fun one.
Yeah, I always go and look at stuff, and I never get this argument where to go like, well, exclusives bring innovation, and I'm like, how?
exactly. I don't
The
know how.
the thing that brings innovation is devs who want to like make creative and talented stuff, and really a company giving them the opportunity to do so. That's like really what it is. If they cannot fund it themselves, it just takes like a company believing in them. You know, like Psychonauts is a great video game of just like wacky, crazy, over the top, fun that was made by Tim Schafer and Double Fine. And Double Fine is like one of those like great studios that can always make like fun, interesting, not over the top budgets and not like super long video games that everyone can kind of enjoy. Like Stacking, Headlander, the Psychonauts games, Brutal Legend, awesome, amazing game. RTS
Yeah, Brutal
homies, you're
Legends.
gonna love
Wow.
it if you haven't played it. I love that game so much.
Brutal Legends. Wow. I need to get back to that game. Wow. That's
Yeah,
we have our backlogs, man. We have our backlogs. It's a game I have to go back and play one day.
yeah. I
Oh man.
that game makes me sad now because it's like all of my favorite rock and roll stars were in there and now they're all dying or dead, and it's like now I'm gonna go back and like, oh, Lemmy's gone. There's Lemmy. Hi, Lemmy. Now Ozzy's gone. It's like, well, there's Ozzy. Bye, Ozzy. And it's just like that's another thing too with like these backlogs is like you're also starting to like get to the point where it's like, damn, everyone's starting to get old or dying off. Now you're like, what's going on
Yeah,
too?
because that's the funny thing. We are getting old.
Yeah.
We get old. We get old. We get old. And that's the thing, though. I mean, as I say, like for example, I keep telling everybody, like these console gamers and stuff like that, that they keep on defending this box. I keep telling you, better set yourself up because sooner or later, physicals are gonna go away.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, we're gonna see consoles disappear out of nowhere because you know why? We are getting older.
Yeah.
By the time we get older, man, it's gonna be tough for us, to go back and sit here and play these games because I remember back in the day, like one of the things that happened during COVID, and I say this like even though it was an awful time for a lot of people, but for a video game guy like me, sitting home and just going through my backlog, I literally catch up my backlog. I had like 35 games, and during that COVID time, I caught up with it. Now, am I gonna have time like that ever again? I hope not, because I don't want that situation to ever happen again. But it's not gonna happen. I mean, it's just not. I mean, once you got kids, once you got things you got to do, kids take a lot of your time. Going to proms, going to birthdays, hockey, stuff like that. Practice and all that stuff. Soccer practice, the karate practice. That takes a lot, and I do mean a lot of time. So it's hard, when you got to sit down and have that time for video gaming. That's why a lot of people, have bought this console or doing that one thing, and that is, or play this multiplayer game. That's what they're doing, playing the service game multiplayer. That's why we see it in the top tens now, because that's all people are gaming for. So that's why I'm saying that these guys need to come back, make these games simple so they can draw back a lot of people and say, well, this is a 15-hour long game. Let me take a break from this multiplayer. Let me go back to this. It's going to take me like what, 2 or 3 days, or probably a week to finish. I finish it up, then I go back to my multiplayer. I won't miss that much, and
Yeah.
that can actually work. Instead of having these 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 hour long games, for the price of $70. Oh my God. It's like we need a break from that.
I know, but it's the funny part is I remember not too long ago. Let's go 2019, 2018. A video game by the name of Devil May Cry 5 came out, and people were
Yeah.
upset that it was an 8-hour game and it was $60. And they're like, how could you charge us this much money for playing this game and everything? These devs need to give us what we're the bang for our buck. Why aren't they just doing like the Sony formula? Right? Because a lot of people forget like the over the shoulder third person action adventure story driven games, they were really dominant of the 2010s, and
Mhm,
everyone
mhm.
wanted to go out and be that way. And then Fortnite started to become like the big trend, and they're all chasing the Fortnite, then they're all chasing the Call of Duty. The biggest issue is
Mhm.
gamers are the best critics and the worst critics at the same time,
Exactly. Yeah. Because I'll
because
be honest with you. I mean, why don't they pick up that fight with Resident Evil? Because Resident Evil is a 9 out of 10 hour game usually. Not that long.
right.
14 tops. Why don't they pick that fight with Resident Evil? Because just with Devil May Cry, but go pick a fight with Resident Evil. Go pick a fight with this guy, or they don't do that. I mean, it's it's
Yeah.
it's, it's insane. Like if you sit down, I don't know how long the story to Horizon is, like the Horizon I mean, if you sit down and just do the story part, it's probably like a 15-hour long game. Probably if you skip cutscenes,
Yeah.
but you know, but that's how it is. I mean, we're the ones who decide to make it long. Like for example, with Devil May Cry, if we want to get everything out there, it's probably like a 15, 16-hour game. So that's actually a good time frame for a game. But it's just how to see how these people are these days, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's you can't please everyone, and it's just the
Mhm.
problem is now it's like before you couldn't hear everyone complain. Now if you go online, you hear everyone complain, and it can
Ooh.
give you like that weird concept sometimes too, where it's just like you could get lost in the downward spiral. I guess you could say that was like a problem I think a lot of people have sometimes
Mhm.
is what what really like turns me off from listening to a lot of gaming podcasts now
Mhm.
is that they're
What?
not talking about gaming like in a sense. It's like they'll cover a news article and then they'll cover another news article and then it is just like trying to find fault with like the games industry. It's just like find
Mhm.
mainstream article, repeat mainstream article, say
Mhm.
everything sucks, rinse lather repeat, rinse lather repeat. Thank you for
Mhm.
joining us, like and subscribe and join the channel. You know,
I
and
get
that's like not that's like I understand that like you need to talk about like issues in gaming. I'm not trying to like say like
you. Mhm. Mhm.
everything's perfect and great, but like like when you follow someone like say Hazador Gaming and stuff like that too, and he's posting links to like Japanese articles, interviews with game devs. He's posting links to videos with game devs and stuff like that, where they're
Mhm.
talking about their upcoming projects. They're talking about like things that like should matter to gamers too, like humanize these video game devs. Let everyone kind of be aware of like what they're doing, what's the future. And another thing too is just like what I've been trying to do with my channel is talk more about like, well, these are the video games I'm collecting for. Here's the places you can buy these games physically. Here's the places that you should check them out, and just like kind of just have more fun. Talk about the video games you're also playing, because if you are a fan of something, and this is where I also divert from console warriors about this too, is like I don't want a fucking exclusive club. All right, I don't want to go and just like have my own
Um,
little me space, because like if I just have if the audience is one and I'm the only one enjoying it, well that means like I probably will not see more of what I like. I want fans of what I like. I don't care where you
mhm.
play a video game. If you like Plague's Tale, like I want you playing Plague's Tale. I don't care where you play.
That's why these companies have taken, measure and say, you know what, we gotta kind of leave the exclusive area and start porting our games, everywhere. Because I use this. I always talk about this in my show. Like I keep telling, like for example, Nintendo as of right now, Nintendo doesn't need to do it. Nintendo doesn't need to say, okay, I'm gonna put my Mario on PC. I'm gonna put my Mario, everywhere else. I don't need it right now because Mario over here sells really well. We do make our money. So they really do not need to do it. But when you sit down and you look at Xbox, sit down and you look at a PlayStation, right? You see these games that cost $500 million to make. That's how much it costs. 500 million. That's what they're costing them. So you got the PlayStation fans right there buying the game, but it's not enough. That's just not enough anymore. Because why is it enough? Because those guys that used to buy those games, right, back last generation, the generation before, nowadays are playing or either playing that one game or they have their kid playing that one game that they actually enjoy on that console. But do they go back and play these games? No. Do they have the time to do it? I remember I had a friend who bought a Series S the other day. And I asked him, what are you going to play? He said, I'm going to play on the Ring. I mean, I want to get an Xbox with the Game Pass and all of these games. Ask me if he's using that Game Pass or ask me if he's playing that one game. He is not. He is not. His kid is the one who's taking over. His kid has got his friends coming up to his house. They're playing all these games. They're doing all this stuff. I'm like, okay, that's what you guys are playing. They're playing, what is it? Or either Roblox or either Fortnite or these just one simple games. That's what these guys are playing. These kids are just sticking to that. Us as adults, we are literally going away from that. Little by little, we're going away from that because of time and the time consumption that these games take away from us.
Right.
That's why we're now looking for those games that are 15 hours long. Sit there, enjoy the story. Okay, what's next? Okay, move. And that's why a lot of us now are going to handhelds, because that's another thing though. These handhelds are really a big help for us because we take it to wherever we're at. Let's say we're going on vacation with the family. Okay, I got some downtime. Let me turn on. Let me play at least an hour of this game to catch up. Play a little bit more. Just to catch up on things, or just do something. That night when you have that downtime where you just want to chill out while
Yeah.
the kids do something else. That's what you want to do. That's where we're heading for as adults. And that's the thing though. And these exclusive terms literally needs to go away because now, for example, those guys that were also on PlayStation have now moved up to PC. Now let's put the game on PC to get back those guys to buying our games. Let's get some of them I move up to Xbox. Let's set those guys from Xbox to buy that game from they used to play on PlayStation. Let's put our game over there. That's why these companies are doing that. So that way, when you sum up that money and collect that cash grab, you're like, man, we sold 10, 11 million copies, which is a good thing for us.
Yeah.
It's a good thing for us as the company. That's why they shipped up and moved this stuff. And they're going to keep on going. I mean, the whole exclusive thing is dead. For me, that's dead.
Yeah,
Especially for these two companies.
and it's why I also find it so bizarre and insane when I see these people kind of go in and they trade away their whole libraries of games, their whole
Oh,
collections and
Lord.
stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, so you're just gonna go buy a different console and you're going to rebuy the
Restart.
same video games,
Yeah.
and
That pretty,
I'm just
That
why?
played the same. They played the same. I
Yeah,
mean, you sit there.
exactly.
It's like what I tell everybody when they bought the Pro. When you're playing Call of Duty, okay, you buy Call of Duty in the PS5 Pro. Okay, it runs really well. The details look really nice and all this stuff. And, you look at all this stuff. You're like, hold on, wait a minute. You're just gonna look at the details, but what has changed in that game though for you? Because as soon as the bad guys start shooting at you, you're not gonna be looking at details. You're gonna start shooting the bad
Yeah,
guy.
exactly.
That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna throw grenades and try to dodge it. Now, if you're gonna sit there and look at the details while they shoot at you, then you just bought the console to look at details.
Yeah,
And
and
that's the thing I keep telling them. Like, it's just details,
that's the
Yeah.
funny part too. Someone pointed out with like Horizon Forbidden West. It's just like there's no video game going on here. You're just walking around and running away from danger all the time in your clips.
Exactly.
That was like one of the
Exactly.
funniest things out there. It's like way to showcase the power of PlayStation. You're walking very slowly and running away.
Yep.
it's,
That's what you're doing. Yeah, that's it.
it's
That's
like
it. Or either that, you gotta zoom in. That's why I put my big ass glasses on. I'm like, yeah, now I'm zooming in to see how good it looks. I was like, oh Lord. I
yeah.
was like, how come, I always keep saying, how can you fall for these tricks? Stop falling for them. Just sit there, enjoy your game. Doesn't matter if it runs like this or runs like that. Because look, Metal Gear just came out. And I was one of the guys that even I said it on my channel, this game without having multiplayer is not looking like a good thing. So I'm gonna wait till they patch it up. But either way, though, you look at it, it still feels like Metal Gear.
Yeah.
40 FPS still it still feels like Metal Gear, like how you played it back in the day. And you're like, man, if you're a big Metal Gear fan, you want to go for it. Because I mean, hell, back in the day, we didn't care about FPS or anything. We just wanted to care about the fun factor of the game. If the game looks fun, go ahead and get it.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
that's
like
what you got to do.
it's like when I see these people online go insane when they see a Digital Foundry report where it's like on a PlayStation 5 it only dips 2 frames, but on the Xbox it dips 3
Ah,
frames.
three
Yeah.
frames. Yeah, the power of the PS5. I'm like, oh Lord,
It's
we
like you
keep
can see
falling
a
for that stuff.
shadow of a bush. It has more bush in the bush.
Or if the guy goes through the bush, it actually, he's not going through the bush, like on the
Yeah.
Xbox, he does go through the bush, the invisible bush. Let's get him. Oh Lord. And the funny thing is, what they don't understand is they're doing damage to the game itself. They're literally taking away what is the game. The game is not called Run in the Bush. That's not the
Right.
game. The game is called Gears of War. Let's go blow shit up. It's not Run in the Bush. It's
Mm,
go shoot things up. Or Horizon. What is Horizon about? Horizon's about chasing after this mechanical dinosaur, shooting arrows. That's what it's about. Not that the guy has a block face or something like that. I
Yeah.
remember when Spider-Man 2 came out, everybody decided to go out there and post Spider-Man running like Naruto Tsumaki, or he couldn't do this in the water, or there's a glitch right here, or this game is broken. Look at the soda can. It's not perfectly round, but okay, that's the soda can. Is Spider-Man supposed to collect soda cans, or is he supposed to be running around, swinging through the buildings and facing the bad guys?
Yeah.
That's what I want to see. I want to see the action, not this stuff. But they use all that stuff to console war to give people they do that on purposely to get the people to fuel on that stuff. They do it to fuel that, and that was fuels them, and they want to be the first one because the thing is, they want to be the first ones to say it
Hmm.
before someone else can grab it and say, "Well, they didn't point this out. Of course, of course." They
Yeah.
want to be the first ones to say it, just to fuel that war, just for them to get the million views of people grabbing stuff and saying, "Ah, this is broken."
Yeah, and
But
I feel like this is a bigger issue I've had with a lot of YouTube spheres as well lately. It's the death of criticism has become like it's, its death is just like more like we got to go out there and be sensational. We can't just
oh
like try
yeah,
to inform an audience. We can't try to do stuff with an audience. Um
nope.
I've basically turned off like 90% of like game reviewers, and that
One.
number is slowly growing every day. And I
Mhm,
really just listen to like two people, but
mhm.
myself and then ACG. Those are the only two people I listen to.
Yeah, because it's kind of sad though that they can't be critical about it. Like for example, I am the biggest Doom fan there is out there. Cannot believe how much I love Doom. I love Doom, but Doom: The Dark Ages. As soon as they took away my gory kills, because that was my favorite thing of Doom Eternal and Doom 2016 was those gory kills. I was like, yeah. But in order to do a gory kill, like you had to jump or and grab and he grabbed the shield, cut things in half, or cut the head or something, or it was usually a kick or a punch. I'm like, what? How is this a gory kill? I miss the old days of my gory kills where I used to like grab the guy's arm, break it in half, stuff like that. They took that away, and literally, I said for me that took a lot of the fun of the game, but the exploring and everything made up for it. But at the end of the day, I gave it a solid kind of, I think it was like a 9.5 rating because I love Doom. Like I said, that was a personal take. But for me, Doom Eternal was a 10 and Doom 2016 was a 10. This one was like a 9.5. Like, well, because I sit down and rate it as a fan, how much I love it. Now,
Yeah.
other games that I sit down and try out and I play, I try, like I always say, if I love it, I go for it, and I bring it up. Like, what we got to be critical about? Like, for example, South of Midnight, one of the biggest issues it didn't have enough enemies. Like the combat was great, it was fun, but the enemies were rinse and repeat a lot.
Yeah.
And if it had more enemies, it would have been a better game. I said that. And I remember I think I gave that game like because the story was phenomenal, the music was just wow, the sound effects, everything out of the way everything worked in that game. Oof, it was just fantastic. I loved it. But I seriously, because of the enemies side of things, I said I give it a 9 out of 10. What was another game I gave a rating that for example, Redfall, after it got patched, I said it's an 8 out of 10. Which Redfall, because and people were like, "Why do you give it an 8 out of 10?" Because after they patched it, it really became Redfall. It was a really tough game. It wasn't that simple. You're running around doing stuff. Starfield, I keep on saying this that the side quests are way better than the main story. Oof, those side quests in that game really make up for the main story 100%. Like the main story, it's not that great compared to the side quests. There's some side quest missions like, wow, this side quest is amazing. Like taking down the pirate ship or going after the alien or doing all this stuff. That was some pretty good side quests compared to the main story. Because the main story, what you had to do is you got to run in there and fly around the circle. I don't know how many times I did it in order for you to get the, what's it called, the little magical power, whatever it was. And I did that like 100 times, and that was basically the main story. I was like, really? But it's hard to find people that criticize because, for example, on Xbox, you ask me, what do you find wrong about Xbox? I tell everybody it's their marketing. Their marketing sucks. They need to get better. They need to get better. It's incredible that in order for Game Pass to become real popular as it did, it was because of Call of Duty. That was it. But for years, they were trying to push that Game Pass like the way they did, but they didn't promote it as well. Because if they really did promote it as they should, people would be looking at an Xbox. But they just didn't do it. But when Call of Duty came out, literally Game Pass got all over the place because it was right there on that trailer. That's why it became popular. Hello?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Sorry, my dogs were barking. I had to mute for a second.
oh, okay, okay. I was like, oh, did,
Yeah.
did we go off?
No, no, no.
But
You're
yeah,
fine.
but that's
It's
what I'm saying though. We gotta be
you're right.
critical. Yeah, at the end of the day, we gotta be critical. We gotta be honest. And even though some people get mad though, listen, don't get mad about it. We're just seeing some stuff that needs to get better. If we don't criticize it, they will not get better. If we say everything is fine, we're gonna be just like the PlayStation fans that say, "Oh, price hike," like what happened the other day, right? The other day, we saw PlayStation increase the price, and their goalpost move was Oh, it's still $50 less than the Xbox. I'm like, how is that good?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. I feel like the biggest issue I have is just like trying to listen to like a cohesive argument. I guess people would like to get out there is like, well, we need these companies to cut budgets. We need these companies to
Yeah.
focus on streamline
Hmm.
and do stuff and you know focus on what makes money, what doesn't, and try to engage gamers and do stuff. And they're
Sure.
not going to always make moves that make sense to us. Obviously, a
Exactly.
big
Exactly.
Tango GameWorks fan. I don't know why Microsoft gave up on them. Uh,
Yeah, that's the thing. We never knew because, for example, we're big Tango GameWorks fans, but look, when we look at the sales of Evil Within, and the only good game that actually really sold really well was Ghostwire Tokyo. Really sold better than Evil Within in all those games. That
and
really
even
that
then,
was
that's very
yeah.
deceptive
Mhm.
numbers because this game was given away
But
like for like $10 a
yeah.
lot of times. It was on sale for $20. It was
Mhm.
really pushed hard on Epic and PlayStation, but it kept getting massive deep cut sales like
Yeah.
pretty much right when it came out. You know.
Yeah, but Ernie Neo, he says this is a great Game Pass popularity has nothing to do with COD. Well, I gotta tell you something, buddy, and this is how it is. And I mean, I gotta tell you how when I see things, right? This year, Game Pass made a ton of revenue. This year alone made a ton of revenue. And because the reason why is because what I'm trying to say is the popularity, because it was popular among us, the Xbox guys. But once the Call of Duty fans picked up on it, which we all know that Call of Duty is the most popular one, it is one of the most popular games out there because we see it all the time at Circana. We see it's always in the top 10. But once those guys picked up on that Game Pass, started talking about Game Pass, people started to search even more for Game Pass. People started to see more into it. And that's how it became the actually popular Game Pass it is nowadays. Because for us, the Xbox gamers, it was popular, no doubt from 2018 to now was popular for us because we knew they were bringing in third party games. But what really pushed Game Pass to out there, the people to see it was COD when they put it on the trader that it's on Game Pass. Day one. People are like, "What is that?" I'm not kidding you. I saw a lot of videos of people not only on TikTok, everywhere, big guys that play Call of Duty saying, "Hey, this game is on Game Pass," and that really got people to search for it and actually look at what Game Pass is. Because Nernio, let me tell you something. Here in Dominican, for example, they believe that Game Pass is a Nintendo product. I am not kidding you. I was in a radio place one day, and someone asked me about the Nintendo Game Pass. I was like, it's not called Nintendo Game Pass, it's called Nintendo Online. He's like, yeah, but I keep hearing about this Game Pass like that. Yeah, that's from Xbox. And he's like, that's from Xbox? I said, yeah, but isn't Xbox that? I'm like, no, you know, it's that's the thing though. Like that tells you right there that really need to work a lot more on the marketing. And so when Call of Duty hit on Game Pass, look at the revenue they brought in. They brought in 5 billion in revenue, and that was for that big ass push. No joke. That was from that big ass push from Call of Duty.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
they've done a lot to try to push out Game Pass to make it more popular and everything too. So uh,
yeah,
it takes a while for things to kind of catch on and to kind of
yeah.
like
But
promote the service and stuff too.
because if it was PlayStation, man, ooh, this would have been everywhere. But since PlayStation doesn't have like the money to sit on it, because that's the thing though, you gotta have the money to sit on this in order
Hmm.
for it to work. And it's not taking a shot at PlayStation because I cannot compare the company that Sony is compared to Microsoft. Never. You can never sit there and compare that.
Hmm.
Never, you can never compare that. Because Microsoft has got the money to sit on it. If PlayStation had this, it would have been everywhere. But Game Pass now is really pretty much an everywhere thing because thanks to that Call of Duty push. No joke. That's how it is. I've been watching this for like the last 5 years, the growth of it, and this is actually the biggest growth they have ever had, and that's thanks to that Call of Duty landing on Game Pass. Crazy, huh?
Yeah, well, this is like the first time in years I actually played a Call of Duty because I could download it and play the campaign. You know?
Nice. Oh, you weren't buying Call of Duty?
No,
Are you one of those guys?
I
You
kind of
got
gave
tired of
up.
it?
I gave up. It's just more like
Yeah.
uh, I tried to play Black Ops Cold War and it bricked my console 3 times, and I said, I give up. You win. You know?
Oh, when it released, oh, you were one of those guys that got bricked. Oh, sorry
Yeah.
about that. Yeah, that sucked. I mean, that was the beginning of the generation where there was some problems out there. We had to wait to fix them. Kind of like with the Final Fantasy 16 having issues with the PS5.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shoot, yeah. It was those days. Yep.
Yeah. So I tried. I was like, this is the first Call of Duty in a while that looked interesting to me. You know,
Good.
I'm a history guy, so I like to go and do a lot of like the history stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm having fun. I got the RC car. I'm about to blow up the plane, and it's like brick. I'm like,
Oh no, damn.
I was like, ah, I just
But wait, back in the day, were there RC? There were RC cars back in the day, 1960s, were they? Oh, they
this
were.
this place. This is like late '80s, early '90s.
Oh, okay, okay. There were, yeah, there
Yeah.
were RC cars. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean they were much
yeah.
better RC cars. Like I think they had like some of those in the '60s, but like they were
Let's go take a look. Why the heck not? I mean, we Google's our best friend. Were there RC cars in the 1960s? Let's see now, because probably never seen them because Oh, there were RC cars in the 60s. Yeah, there were some. Yeah.
yeah. I think like there was
Uh,
like there was more still like the little track cars. Remember those when you were growing up?
yeah, yeah. No, no, but there is one. Yes, RC radio control cars existed in the 1960s. LGI EIGI Ferrari 250 LM in 1966. Wow, that's pretty cool stuff. We're learning stuff today.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, like I said, I because I remember like it's like I'm pretty sure that they had some of those little like tiny ones that I can remember, like because like my family like used to watch those old TV shows like that were on repeat like Columbo and stuff, and I think I saw like a few of those, you know, especially like RC boats. I think they were like also RC
Yeah.
boats like that too.
Yeah, I remember they also gave us a gameplay of RC boats back in Red Dead Redemption 2. I just remember that. Remember that mission you have to drive the submarines in Red Dead Redemption 2 to blow up stuff?
No, I never played Red Dead Redemption 2 that much. I couldn't get into
Oh
it because
wow.
I kept
That was
stealing everything by accident. I'd walk into a
That
store,
is such
accidentally
a
press
good.
A, and I was like, "Oh, you stealing?" And I'm like, "No,
Oh
I
no,
didn't mean to do
no.
that." It
Oh,
was
that happened to me in Oblivion. I know how it feels.
yeah, it just felt like it was more like trigger happy and slow, you know?
I get you. But it's one of the best. My God, it's one of the best.
Yeah.
One of
Nah,
the best. Wow.
like those games are fun. From what I hear, I got to go back
Hmm.
and replay Red Dead Redemption because that's another good thing about like these backwards compatibility programs is that
Hmm.
they play these games so much better because they load so much faster. But on top of that too, that
Hmm.
auto HDR really makes a lot of these older games pop like in amazing ways. One of them was a Suda 51 game called Killer is Dead, and I was playing that with like the auto HDR and stuff. I'm like, oh, this 360 game like it's so stylized that it kind of looks like something like modern day. You know, it just
Hmm.
really pops the colors, the blacks, the
There's
whites, and
there's
reds.
there's some games that you look at it, you're like, wow, this looks like it's modern. Even though if it doesn't look like you're like, wow, it looks modern, it looks good. Incredible. I mean, it's like what I said when I sit down and look at the Xbox One days. Like one of the best graphic games that you sit there and you look at is the Rise of Rome.
Oh
Oh my
yes,
God, that's such a beautiful, detailed game. They really did an amazing job. Another good game they put in PS4 was it was I keep forgetting about this game that was like a 4 hour long and everybody was mad about it, but it's actually a good story behind it.
Order 1886.
Yes, that game had really top notch graphics too. They really pushed into it. Really did.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I think that studio closed sadly now.
Yeah, it did. Sad but
Yes.
true. I think it did. I think it did. I mean, we gotta
Google
just look
killed
at it.
this one, or was it Facebook? So they were bought by one of those big companies, and then they were closed in the when they started to get away from gaming.
Yeah, it says here developer of the order will shut down Meta
Yep.
and yes, ready at dawn, the developer. Yep. Already it says 24 part of reality lab budget cuts despite being acquired in Meta. Yeah, it was acquired by Meta. MetaQuest, I think it was the guys who acquired it.
Yeah, Facebook.
Damn. Damn, such a good studio. That's what sucks nowadays. A lot of studio closures, and that's something that I keep on talking to people about. Well, we got to look at this right now instead of having these console wars. Is we got to see how we can make these games try to survive at least. Because hell, right now they're going through a bad area. They are. All of them are. All of them are. I mean, all of them. Not only PlayStation, Xbox. You got Embracer. Remember, Embracer got divided into three.
Oh yeah.
Ubisoft. Oh my God, yeah, it's a hassle. It's a hassle. Look at Square. Square right now is in screams, not knowing what they're gonna do. You know, they're screaming like shit. We have not made that much of money in it, money back. You know, they got to sit down and figure out some stuff and make more money. And so yeah, that's what we got to look at. We got to look at how can these games survive? Because at the end of the day, if it's like what Matt Piscatella keeps on saying, these games are not Game Pass is not killing games because a lot of people saying it's Game Pass. It's not these service stuff that's killing it. What's killing these games are they have to go out and compete against these top 10 service video games in general. They got to go out and compete against NBA. They got to go out and compete against Fortnite, compete against Call of Duty, GTA. Those live service games are what's literally destroying everything right now
Yeah,
and kicking these
exactly.
games butts. Yeah, that's what we got to compete against.
Well, they got to compete against so much more competition too than ever
Yeah.
before. All right. I think it's
Mhm.
very fair to say that you got to go compete against other JRPGs. You got to go compete against indie
Yep.
devs. You got to go compete against AAA devs, and you're constantly fighting for time and eyeballs as just as much as anything else. Um, Even if you are like a well-established franchise like Final Fantasy, it doesn't help you to lock down such a major tentpole IP to a lot of these like consoles anymore. Um, right now we're not seeing like the over the top 10 million sales for like Sony first party games. Like 10 million
Mhm.
is amazing. It's a great,
Mhm.
metric.
Mhm. Mhm.
But like you're seeing these other games like Yakuza, we're seeing games like Persona, and they're made by Sega Atlas, and they have budgets that you could clearly tell are high, but they're not like $500 million high. So
Mhm.
they're celebrating when it goes and sells for like a million copies and stuff like that. They're celebrating that they can release everything on Game Pass day one for some of those games and make, probably a good chunk of like, millions of dollars just to do that as a day one purchase. Plus, they get the players on Xbox and PC who play it on Game Pass. Some of those players are converting over to buying it physically and or digitally, and on top of
Mhm.
that too,
Mhm.
they still get the PlayStation audience as well too. And
Mhm.
in some cases the Nintendo audience they're starting to get as well. And
That's good too.
though these are good things to like help acquire like an industry. I like the one weird thing that people go like, well, Game Pass cannibalizes sales. I'm like, oh well, of course it does. But that's not the issue. The issue is like what is the deal that these devs are signing with Microsoft to secure their own income? Because
Mhm.
this comes down to like just basic economics 101. All right, if I am making a deal with a company and I am not getting a deal to financially secure myself, I did something wrong. Okay.
Yep.
And what you read with some of these smaller devs is like, yeah, we lost some sales, but we made a deal to put a game on Game Pass and it funded the game because that was our cost. So we were able to get
Mhm.
this game out there basically without having to worry about, not breaking even. And you start from a standpoint of like, well, we broke even right away. That that helps a lot of these indie devs grow and get criticism and feedback because there are players that are going to still go out there and play this game, and there are going to be players that convert that into sales, and there are players who are going to listen to a review of it online, and then they're going to go out and buy it on PlayStation. They're going to buy it on Switch where Game Pass doesn't exist too. It
Mhm.
it makes sense to me for like what Game Pass does. And I don't understand the hatred to it. Like I feel like the arguments are very, tangible. There's no denying that. Like they do make some sense. But at the same time, like I kind of like you were saying, a lot of us weren't rich growing up, and some of us still aren't rich as like adults.
Exactly.
So I don't understand this like weird concept where like suddenly going out and like renting a game and trying it out is so beneath you as a person, and it just is like weird to me that you have like this weird elitist attitude. I mean, I game share a lot of my video games with my friends, either physically and or, digitally. I give my like you hook up your Xbox accounts, you get to download games digitally, you and a friend pay for half of it and stuff like that. You could do it on PlayStation as well. Nintendo doesn't like to do it that much, but even then, it's like I can still give my physical game to a friend, even if it's just a activation key. Well, that friend still has access to a video game that they didn't have before. And
Mhm.
like there are so many ways now that people go out there and like save money and game share and game pass and they like do all this stuff before, where it's just like I don't understand like this new elitist, I guess is the best word I would say, this elitist mentality of people just want to like shit on you because like you care about like saving money and trying your best to like experience
Exactly.
something.
Exactly. That's the bad part about it. It's like you see all these guys out there, trying to tell you, oh, you rent games. I'm like, bro, did you rent games when you were young? Um, I mean, seriously, you rented games when you were young. They're like, no, I never rented games. I'm like, bro, you are the biggest liar there is out there. Or what's the problem with you renting a game? I mean, the thing is, right? It's like what I say. Why is Game Pass so good for us? We right now, this day and age, we look at games. I'll give you another. I'll go back to this example. Look at Metal Gear. Metal Gear, the way it was released. If it was on Game Pass and people tried it out, people would have been like, "Hey, listen, it feels like Metal Gear." Especially those Metal Gear fans would have said, "Hey, it feels like the Metal Gear game. If you like it, go ahead and buy it. Do not listen to this Digital Foundry. Do not listen to all this stuff. Go ahead and buy it." They will literally tell you, "Go ahead and buy it." The people who are trying this game out. Because right now people are afraid to go spend money on these games. They are afraid to because
Yeah.
I mean, we're tired of buying because I remember the other day Sean Layden did an article say that the game should be 80 or $90. I'm like, okay,
Ugh,
uh,
man.
put your games in 80 90, cool, but are you going to release those games at the high quality you promised us? Are you going to release those games, the proper way they're supposed to be delivered? Because at the end of the day, you're the man who's talking about raising the prices, yet you release a Black Myth Wukong game that wasn't really looking that good.
Yeah.
Not on PS5, also on PC, even though highest settings, it's and now we got on Xbox and like some details don't look as good, but at the end of the day, you're paying 70 or $60 for this game. I mean, if we want to pay for something, we want it to be on the best quality it's gotta be because we're paying for this. And this is why people go out there now and search for videos. They check Digital Foundry, check all the rest of the guys out there that are doing these videos to check if the game is actually running great before
Hmm.
they go ahead and purchase the game. Because they'll ask these questions. And that's why when they see the game's not working fine, they say, well, it's okay. I'll wait a couple months and I'll go back to, playing to this game I was playing or go back and play multiplayer. I'll wait a couple months and then get it for a cheaper price and probably the patches will come in.
Yeah.
Kind of like what I'm doing right now. Right now for me, right, I wait. Like if I see a game comes out, right, and I'm like, oh, okay, it came out, it's not looking that great, then I'll wait for it to be in discount price for me to get it. And I know that some patches gonna be in it. It happened to me with Jedi Survivor. I bought it when they fixed up a couple things. I think I bought it for like $40, and then it came into Game Pass. Like 2 months later, I'm like, oh, I saved my money. But at the end of the day, I was happy about it.
Yeah.
Because it's a game I would like to own. But that's what's happening nowadays with us, the gamers. We're sitting there, we're like, okay, is this game coming out fine? Does it have any problems? Does it have any save issues? Does it have this? Does it have that? And after we see like 5 or 10 videos, then we're like, okay, let's go buy it. Nah, let's just wait till it's a discount price. I'm still playing over here, so I'll wait for discount price because at the end of the day, it's like what you said. We have a backlog of games to play that are probably looking way better than that new game that released. So yeah, that's how it is, man. That's how it is.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like sometimes when I'm like talking to people, um, the funny part is Xbox didn't even come up with the idea of the Games Pass. It actually was started by Blockbuster of all places, if you didn't know
Yeah.
this. And they had because I had to look this up, double check it. It's like your first month of Blockbuster Game Pass was $15 USD. And then after that it was $20 a month. And their whole big advertisement was like you go out there and you pay like you rent a game, play it, keep it for however long as you want, and then you can return it. Like I remember,
Mhm.
I took apart that for like when the summer, like that was like the summertime. We're gonna do it in the summer. Um, I'm out of school. My parents are at work. I need to, latchkey kid over here, and I have to change some stuff up. And I have to entertain myself a little bit after chores are done or it's too hot or rainy. So like you ride down to the Blockbuster on your bike, you rent a game, you go home, and then if you don't like it, you're like, oh, I'm going to return it right away and just go rent a new one. And like,
Exactly.
like that stuff was great, and that's kind of
Hmm.
like what this new modern day Game Pass is. It's the same idea
Hmm.
as that, except now you have like like hundreds and
So
thousands of
beautiful.
games, and you don't need to leave your house to even try them.
Exactly. Not, and if you leave your house, you can just take your little, what's it called? Your little Rock Ally, and play it, or your little whatever and play.
Right.
That's the beauty about Game Pass. It's everywhere. I mean, they've really done an amazing job with that. And that's one of the things I really enjoy. And not only that, that Play Anywhere is fantastic. That Play Anywhere is another thing that's going to be top notch for us, all the gamers in the world, because hell, we just got to buy the game once and then we can play it on PC and play it on whatever device we have. We get to play it, just have a blast. And that's one of the beauties, that I sit there and I tell everybody that is part of being on Xbox is, man, get this sucker. It's Play Anywhere. You get to play it on your Xbox or wherever you want. Not only that, your saves carry on
Yeah.
back and forth. That is a beauty. That is a beauty. One of the
No,
best things out there.
you're not wrong about that too, and I always say that to people. I'm like, there's because right now I only have one Xbox console. I had a Series S, but I didn't really like it because I just really like to make sure everything is performing very well. And while it was still pretty good for older games, I was just like I gotta get rid of it. But there was a niceness because my wife will come in and she'll be like, I want to play on the big TV, so I let her have the big TV and I go play on my PC. Or it's like she's using the PC, so I go on hang out on my Xbox and
Yep.
continue doing a lot of that play anywhere thing. I love cloud saves and cross
Yep.
progression and all that stuff.
Best
Um,
thing out there.
it's my favorite thing to do, especially if, like for example, I wish I could do it with Monster Hunter more, just so I can like easily get those like platinum trophies and achievements. Like I said, not a big guy, but I like to do that in the Monster Hunter games the most because
Yeah.
it's part of the game. Like I want to complete that game, and Monster Hunter is just a continuous loop where you just like
Mhm.
constantly fight like the big monster. So it's nice to have something like that to work towards and like kind
Yeah.
of like stand tall when you're done. But
Mhm,
like
mhm.
I like when companies do that because there are times where it's like, well, I'm playing on my PlayStation right now because my wife is using the Xbox and I can continue playing like the cross save I have for this thing on my PlayStation. And I'm like,
Yeah,
it's
that
great.
would be nice. That'd be nice if they actually did that. But you know how Sony is, man. Oh, that's the things that I really do hope they open up because I mean, seriously, they gotta open up these things for everyone because I mean, like, bro, I got a PS5 in my house. I got an Xbox in my house, and if I want to plug the PS5 elsewhere or have my nephews play anywhere else, like for example, I'm playing a game on the PS5 and I know it's on Xbox. I wish I could just grab my Switch from that game and bring it over here and just continue on playing while they play or either Fortnite or whatever they want to play. But it's a hassle. I don't know why they haven't done that, but they got to do that because that's the best feature that Xbox has. Play the game on your Xbox. Oh, you want to use the TV? Okay, go
Yeah.
watch a movie, no problem. Hey, I got the PC. Whoop, log in my PC and start and continue on playing the game.
Yeah.
No problem. Plug in the controller and keep on going. Just have fun.
Yeah, and there's games like I want to do that more with, and that's why I'm so interested in this Rock Ally because like I can do that more natively with my Xbox libraries and stuff like that. Because I have a Steam Deck right now, and I like my Steam Deck. Don't get me wrong; it's like a nice alternative to like playing some PC games as well when my wife's on the PC. But it's just like, it'd be great if I had my Rock Ally and I have more native access to both my Xbox and my Microsoft Windows games, as well as my GOG and my GOG. Well, GOG GOG, same thing. Sorry, Epic.
So
That's what I meant to say. Epic Games store and
Epic
all that
Games,
stuff.
yeah, that's why I can't wait for next gen. I mean, next gen, it's gonna be super interesting. It's gonna be a great generation.
Yeah,
It's
I,
gonna be a great gen.
I'm excited about it because I just like I'm curious to see what it's gonna do. Like I'm still going to probably buy a new PlayStation, but at the same
Probably will.
time,
Okay.
if for example everything keeps going cross-platform, then it's a lot easier for me to just keep my PlayStation 5 and just keep buying everything on my new Xbox I'm going to get, because I'm still going to keep it and play my old video games. I've invested
Yep.
way more money than I should in video games, okay? It's just that's just the truth about it.
I mean, shit. I sit there and I'm like, man, how much money have I invested into this stuff? I mean,
Yeah.
crap.
I
That's why I tell people we gotta save our money. I mean, we're investing too much into these suckers. We gotta stop. Because look, what this generation has taught us nowadays is that we cannot fall into these hooks, right? We cannot fall into these tricks, right?
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, for example, it's like with the 5080 graphic cards, right? If you got a
Yeah.
4080, right now the 4080 or the 4090s are kicking 5080s butts or 5090s, right? And in order for that, and nowadays, like for example, I saw the other day they released a patch that games were running at 320 FPS and 1080p. I'm like, now you guys are releasing it literally almost a year later. I'm like, oh Lord. But you got to get it when it's ready, when it's fine, when it's cooking. And same thing goes with this PS5 consoles. Like I said, with the PS5 Pro, like people bought it. Like, man, the best place to get is PS5 Pro. I'm like, why is it the best game? Because look at these graphics, look at these details. I'm like, bro, you bought a console to see details?
Yeah.
I mean, I bought a console to play a game. That's what I bought it for. And that's the thing, though. We can't get stuck to this. I'm not saying that the PS5 is a bad console, the Pro. I'm just saying that with this gen, with the games that are being released, they're not being fully optimized on this console. Why am I going to spend an extra $500 on getting this console that it's just not going to give me that extra? It's like if Xbox came out with the Series X Pro, for example, with an RDNA 4 and all this stuff, and I see that it comes out, and I see that all these games are not running 4K native 60, and it's only like 2 or 3 games. I'm like, I'm not going to spend that extra money just to play 2 or 3 games at 4K native 60. I'm just going to sit there and play how am I playing already over here, upscaled with beautiful graphics, having fun. That's how I got to play it and have fun. That's it. I'm not gonna spend the money to keep on playing it the same way. What are the details? Oh, you get to see that tree more pretty. Oh, okay. But I'm not playing Call of Duty for a tree. Or that the guy from Gears of War runs through the bush and the bush shakes or whatever. I'm not playing Gears of War to run in the bush. I'm playing Gears of War to shoot these bastards that are trying to take over the earth, That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And it's just like it's like I said, we're getting a little lost in the sauce here. As I like to say, it's like some of us are just like overthinking it, or we're looking for something
Exactly.
to
Yeah,
like
we gotta
complain
just
about.
have fun. We just
Yeah.
gotta have fun. That's all we gotta do is have fun. Turn on your system, have fun. No matter what game it is, have fun. Hey, the tree looks like Tetris. Okay, I don't care. Hey, do I shoot things and blow things up? That's what I care about. Let's go now. Because I mean, seriously, sometimes I say, why don't these consoles make like a graphic simulator game where people sit there just look at the graphics and that's it? That's all you're looking for, and it's for free. Get in there, look at the trees, look how beautiful it is up there, look at all this stuff. That's what you got to do. Give them that so they can be
Yeah.
happy. And let the guys who want to go out there, shoot things up, blow things up, and have fun with the games. That's what you got to do.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
seriously.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's how it is. Yeah.
So, uh, I'm gonna say this was very fun hanging out with you, man.
Oh,
Definitely would
thanks,
like to
man.
have you back on in the future to maybe watch like a different. I do a couple different shows where we talk about a video game proper, watch video game documentaries. But honestly, you're one of the coolest guys I've seen. One of the most high energy, like you know, really just like upbeat guys. Seriously, your energy is infectious, and I can see why you're
Thanks,
so
man.
fun
Thanks,
to be
man.
around. So I definitely had a lot of fun with this.
Same
And
here, man. It was a blast just talking about things in general, just the things, we actually got into some slander, but it was positive slander. I like to get into slander sometimes because I like to bring up some slander stuff. I like that. And yeah, it was good stuff because it was good talking points. That's why I like to debate stuff, like to hear people's opinions about how they feel
yeah,
about things are in gaming in general. How do you feel about games? How do you feel a whole bunch of stuff? That's something I really like to see people, express and say about.
yeah, exactly. And
Seriously, it's good, yeah.
I could have went on a whole like half an hour tirade about how Sean Layden is the most overrated CEO in gaming history, but I had to control myself. Every time I see Sean Layden post about like the video game industry, I'm like, you had the easiest job in the world when both your competitors just like shot both their legs off at the beginning of Last Generation.
Oh
You cannot talk
Lord.
to me about anything, Mr. Layden. You had
I get you. I get you. Sometimes I get aggravated with some things he says. Look at her, you laughing is about a positive slander. Yeah, because I'll be honest. I have seen slander, and I see that the most terrible slanders out there. There's actually a good, segment to talk about things. Nothing too harsh, nothing too, like like some people get up to the feelings and mad, about all this stuff. But it was a good talk though. I really had fun. Just literally we started at 4 and we've been sitting for like 2 hours, and man, would have got up to 3 easily because it was a good conversation. Good stuff, man. I really had fun being here. Thank you for having me on. Seriously,
no, thank
and I
you
will
for
be
coming
glad
on.
to come back. I will glad to come back. Just tell me when, and I'll come back. We'll schedule it in. Try to get the timing in so we can come back and have another good conversation.
Yes, and we
Love
won't
that.
postpone it like 17 times either.
Yeah,
The next one.
yeah, that was a crazy time. Yeah, because like I said, it was summertime. I mean, look, I don't know why, but my summer became like December because during Christmas time you cannot find me.
Yeah.
Christmas time, it's my birthday,
Oh
my little
wow.
brother's birthday, my wife's birthday, our wedding
Woo!
anniversary,
Oh my
her
goodness.
nephew's birthday. Then we have Christmas, and then we have 31st. I mean, literally, that's 7 things I got to do in Christmas.
Oh yeah,
7 things.
I can imagine that though. Like, look at
Yep.
you, December wedding, December birthdays.
Days. Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
Hey, I did that on purpose. So that way one gift becomes it all. That's why.
exactly. Sounds like a fun idea. See, my wife, on the other hand, she's her birthday is Christmas Eve.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
she's a December 24th baby, and every
Nice.
year we have the same argument about her birthday because
Mm-hmm.
my family is like really big with Christmas, and
Yep.
my mom, she's got a rare form of cancer, but luckily her
Oh,
treatments have been better, so I want to
good,
preference
good,
that
good.
right now. But now she's doing like the whole like this could be my last Christmas every last Christmas
Oh
now. So
Lord,
she's
oh Lord. Yeah, because it's like that with my wife too. Like for example, her father is 91 years old
oh
and
wow,
he's still
God
alive.
bless him.
Yeah, God bless him. So yeah, so every time she says, "Hey, this could be his last Christmas." Hey, this I'm like, "Oh, you're still using the last Christmas thing." I mean, I even tell her it's any of us' last Christmas because we remember, even though we are young, we don't know if one day we just poof, just
Get hit by a
it doesn't
bus,
matter. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, exactly. It's life.
Yeah, and it's just like you've been on Twitter, you've seen like bad things that happen. It's just like
Yeah.
you've seen workplace accident videos at least once in your life, and it's just like, yeah,
hmm
it's like
Yeah. Yeah.
pray to God it never happens to me.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, that's actually a weapon right there. I love how moms use that guilt trip. Like, maybe my last Christmas. I'm sick. But
Yeah.
hey, yeah, I
Well,
get it.
like after like I think we got into like a argument about it like 2 years ago because we've been
Yeah.
together now. We've been married 6 years coming up this
Wow, I'm going to
October.
3 now. Going to 3 now.
Oh, nice. And then
Nice. Yeah.
we've been together 10 years total. And I think like a couple years ago we just had a big fight. It's like you know this. You know that your birthday's on a holiday. You know that you
Yep.
married into a family that like constantly wants to do things together for Christmas. I'm sorry that you
Yep.
can't celebrate your birthday. All right. And I always joke with her too because she's a premature baby, and I was like, and it's your fault because you came out early. So who's to blame? You. That's who.
Why don't I got a plan for you though? Why don't we do this? Why don't we say, okay, let's see, let's check the calendar though, because calendar is always good. Why don't we say this? Why don't you tell her next time, hon, let's do this. This is better for us. Why don't we, right, celebrate your birthday on, let's say, the 20th? That's a Saturday. Let's celebrate on the 20th, and that's it. Then the 24th is Christmas, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
4 days earlier, 4 days after, it's good. It's on the weekend. Everybody can come and join you. Nobody's as busy as it is.
Yeah, we
Because
do
that's the
that,
thing, yeah.
but you they
Yeah.
but girl logic, it doesn't always work right sometimes.
Yeah, I know how it is. Yeah, I see now. I see what you're going. But
Every
yeah,
married man knows this one, all right? Because you're gonna do
yep,
something that annoys her, like
yep.
the wife side, right? You just do something,
Oh,
she
I
just
know. Listen, you want to know why I'm on the show today? Because she kicked me out of the room. She's watching a TV show, and she's. You know what time she went to bed last night? 3 a.m. 3 a.m. watching the damn show. I'm like, wow. And now today she only has like 8 episodes left. And I said, hey, are you going to the supermarket with me today? She's like, yeah, do you really need me to go? I'm like, you want to watch the show? He's like, yeah, I do. And not only that, she's a big F1 fan, and the F1 movie just came out. I'm
Ooh,
like, let's
nice.
go watch it. Let's go watch it right here. Let's go watch it on TV. She's like, nah, I'm busy with the show. I'm like, okay, all right, no problem. Whenever you want, we'll go ahead and watch it. But yeah, she's busy with the show, so she kicked me out yesterday. She said, why don't you? This is what she told me. She's like, why don't you go ahead and play games? I'm like, are you okay? What are you planning? You know? She's like, nah, this is just a show. It's like I knew there was something. And then when I saw that the show had 3 seasons, I'm like, well, I'm gonna be there for a while. So I sat here from 6 to like 1 a.m. playing games. And when I went back, I was like, it's 1 a.m. She's like, wait, I was just gonna finish this last episode. Man, I fell asleep and she was still watching till 3 a.m. Yeah, that's how it is. That's how it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I understand those days too. My wife, she can fall asleep anywhere. She can lay down on a bed of rocks and she's out like a light. And like me, I'm such a night owl. It's not even funny because
Same here.
we drank like because we're going on vacation and we're going to be doing a lot of running around. We bought like those energy drink pouches where it's just you
Yeah.
throw it in water, shake it up, and it's like a replacement. And we both took one on Friday night at like 6 o'clock at night, and she passed out at 9 p.m. and I was up till 4 o'clock in the morning because I couldn't sleep. I was just wide awake.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord.
I am so lucky that I have friends who are in different countries and different time zones.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's
You could
their
never get tired. Yeah.
yeah. So it's like their afternoon. So they're just like getting off work. I'm like, and they're like, "What the hell are you doing up?" I'm like,
Oh,
I
yeah,
fucked
exactly.
up. That's what I'm. That's why I'm still awake. I fucked up. Okay.
Oh Lord, the life. That's how it is. And we're sitting down here talking about grown-up conversations, the things we got to do all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
But again, man, thank you for having me on, man. It was a blast. Great
No.
talks. Again, if you need me here, just say it. I'll be back.
Yeah.
We'll
So
schedule it in.
go check out the link in the description of this video. Click on it. It'll take you right to the Xbox International podcast. And then, Mr. Louis, could you give yourself a little bit of an outro and tell people upcoming projects and so on and so forth, and we'll land this plane and call it a night.
Oh, it's simple and easy. You can find me easily on Twitter X as Crazy Lou Gaming. You can find me on Blue Sky as Crazy Lou Gaming. You can also find me here on the Xbox International Podcast at 7 p.m. ET with Sour Blow, the Big Plume, and Silent Cipher, and Good Morning with Crazy Lou Gaming, which will be back tomorrow. I'm still looking for what news am I going to talk about tomorrow, because that's the thing. You got to look for some news to talk about. But if not, I got an interesting, concept I want to bring up. But let's see. But yeah, lots of things, I want to talk about tomorrow morning. If I find some news, some news to slander on. If not, we're just gonna do a show. But yeah, I'll be back here. I'll be back in Good Morning Crazy Lou Gaming tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. That's where you can find the crazy one. And again, man, thank you for having me. It was a blast.
No
Good
problem.
show.
It was great. As for me, we will be back on the Dark Avengers podcast with Ryan on Tuesday, and we're going to be talking about history. We're kind of changing it up. Ryan and me have decided that we don't really want to talk video gaming because we do it too much, and we want to focus on another passion of ours, and that's history. So we're going to be talking, I believe, about a subject that he brought up, but I don't want to spoil it yet. So go check that out on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, we'll be back with Nerdy Neo and Gino as we talk about, as we watch a Mega Man documentary and we talk about Mega Man in our Legacy Loading series. That will be at 7 p.m. Central on this upcoming Wednesday. And then after that, we are going to be doing, Neo, he didn't tell me that he was doing a top 5. Maybe he just forgot. So, cancel that. We might not be doing anything this Tuesday. We might do a video game stream then, if that's the case. Yeah, he must have forgot that, Neo. Thank you for saying that. I'll talk about that later. Sorry, derail. Let's go back again. And as everyone knows, I will be on vacation starting this upcoming Friday. So I've been doing a lot of pre-recorded content. So keep an eye out for a lot of collector edition box opening videos, as well as other videos coming up with Mass Effect character rankings. And of course, me and Angry Canadian are going to be talking about our handheld collections. We have a video already recorded and it's ready for a premiere on YouTube. That's already up there, so be ready to watch that. It's a very simple video as Angry Canadian and me just sit down, show off our handheld collections, and kind of just talk video games about it too. So if you're interested in seeing what kind of limited edition consoles we have and some of our favorite memories, please check that out. I forgot when it's scheduled, but that's all I got coming up. So everyone, with that being said, in here in the States, it's going to be the last week of summer, as I like to call it, because Labor Day weekend is coming up this upcoming weekend. So enjoy your nice 3-day weekend here and get ready for the fall season and football season and everything else. Thank you all, everyone.